Okay, we should be live. Let's see. How late? Okay, we should be live. Okay, that's quite a bit of latency, but oh well. What can you do? Anyway, welcome everybody. We still got a half hour to go, but you know me, I like to start my streams early. We should be live. Oh yeah, I should probably turn that off. Ooh. Let's not have the stream preview playing. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Looks like everyone's doing good. Halo 4 is really good and underrated. Halo 5 story. Okay, nothing. Hey there, Aiden. Doing good. How are you? Halo Infection Horde mode. That sounds awesome. Hyped, yes. Yeah, and we should be hyped. Even if you didn't get into the flight this time, the fact that it's happening alone is huge. I would say, like this time last year, we were being told that flighting before the game was launching would just not be possible, for various reasons, and thank God it got delayed for several reasons, including the potential for flighting. So, again, if you didn't get in this time, there will be future flights. And as flights go on, 343 have said that they want to increase the number of people that are participating in order to eventually to get as many, if not everybody, that has signed up for the Insider program activated at some future flights. So there are future flights. You do have that chance. Considering that the flight is only one weekend, how many do you think there will be before launch? That honestly depends. Like, let's be optimistic and say that there's going to be one flight per month, and there probably, I hope there is going to be more than that. But if it's one flight per month, I don't think this thing's going to be launching until November, probably. So July, August, September, October. So we should at least get 4 flights. Hopefully more, though. And each one will likely have like concentrated points of view. Like, that's why they're doing the bots out of the gate. They want to get that bot feature tested and working first. But yeah. Hold on. I'm just looking at this image right here and the shoulder pad for this CQB Spartan. And I find it interesting that, I don't know, maybe I'm just misremembering. I don't remember this shoulder piece from Reach. Because, there's been that controversy that you might not be able to mix and match certain pieces across armor cores. Like, if you couldn't put the soldier helmet on the Mark V body, that kind of sucks. Just kind of indicating maybe that isn't the case. I don't know. Hopefully they address it this time. If it isn't incredibly evident in the flight itself, we'll see. Is there equipment in this flight? Yes. Basically, you should assume that. Oh, is it jump jet? Okay. Never mind. I got happy for no reason. Damn. Oh well. Back to that question. Yeah, there will be equipment in the flight. Like, it's basically the full arena offering as far as we can tell. Just, it's players versus bots to test out the bot feature. But otherwise, yeah, it's jump jet. Sorry. I just couldn't remember. Like, it looks slightly familiar, but it also looks slightly different. I don't know. I really hope 343 actually addressed the armor core shit, because every time I almost start getting excited for the customization. Like, you might remember back when what is it? Fuck, I just lost my train of thought. Jesus Christ. What is wrong with me right now? Well, whatever. I just want that was it. During the last multiplayer preview, I started saying I'm kind of getting on board with coatings, because there's clearly a lot more you can do than you could do with a normal coloring system. But then it's like, oh crap, can we not put CQB on the Mark V or the Mark 7 armor core? That's kind of 3 steps forward, 4 steps back. God damn. Anyway. I'm a big fan on this stream. Well, thank you, Blake. Looks like that circular part of the base armor that gets covered up whenever you place a shoulder on it. If you have the Xbox Series, I guarantee you will be in the flight. So this isn't the flight. No, this isn't the flight. And I'm sorry if that made it seem like it was. They have a preview of the technical preview. That's why I said flight preview in my thumbnail. Technical preview. TPP. Oh, God. Don't need any more of that crap. Where was I? Right. This is just, yeah, they're going to show off like the complete contents of the flight itself. So this is a preview, and the flight itself should start tomorrow. What minifigure did you vote on for the poll? Okay, so quick bit of context there, just in case anyone's not aware. Right now, Mega Constructs, or Mega Brands is the actual grander thing. Anyway, they are holding a contest for the next figure that they're going to make, and it's a choice between a CQB Spartan, Haunted Spartan. Actually, let me just pull up the damn page so you can visualize this crap along with me. There we go. We got some time. So yeah, there's a fan vote for figures for anyone not aware. This is going on starting today through August 5th, if I recall. Yep, August 5th, and you can vote once every 24 hours. So I'm going to be voting every day. But fans are choosing between a Flood Combat Form, Elite version, CQB Spartan from Halo 3, Halo Reach Spartan Haunted, and the Thrall Slayer from... I'm going to toss the link in the chat quickly since people were asking. There's the link. The Thrall Slayer from Halo Wars 1. So it shouldn't be a surprise. I voted for the Thrall Slayer because it is the only choice as far as I'm concerned. Spartans, I have no interest in buying Spartan figures because they're armor. I don't care. I only buy characters or special figures. Like I choose the Flood Combat Form before either of these Spartans. But that's just me. Thrall Slayer, though, is my ultimate choice. I want to see him. I want so much more information on Thrall Slayer. How little we know is honestly criminal. Like, he was literally just made in order to be a third Covenant leader, and it sucks. Because, oh, God. Like, he was actually supposed to be a focus of a proposed Halo Wars 2 at one point when... Ensemble was still going to do that before Ensemble was disbanded or whatever, however you want to put that, by Microsoft. But I want to know more about him. I want him to be Caster. Because Caster was an army commander and he knows about Spartans from personal experience. Now, granted, he did get some personal experience with Spartans in Halo Silent Storm, but I want him to be the army commander because Caster and Thrall Slayer are the only two that have been directly mentioned as army commanders in Halo. So, and I think I got to talk with Troy Denning a bit on Twitter about some of these ideas when Oblivion was coming out, and he kind of seemed to hint that that was his headcanon too. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but anyway, what's the poll for? The poll is for whichever wins the poll is going to be made into a set for the Fall 2022 lineup. Sorry. Wow, Fall 2020. Well, that makes sense because whatever wins, they have to make a mold for it. But regardless. What time do you think it'll be available to download and play? I'm hoping we find out during the preview today. Are playable elites going to make a return? Unfortunately, no. They said no playable elites at launch. The reasoning was really stupid. And I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to dwell on that. I'm hoping that they'll kind of do like an MCC Season 7 where they just have this huge elite rollout for elite content with tons of armors and other things, you know. What I'd be really interested to see, though, is because the new Halo multiplayer, it still uses hold on. It's still doing this is all based in the lore and shit. But, and let's use this as a quick sound test while I make sure you can hear me and still hear the background stuff. But as you can see, they are still doing this very much, you are a Spartan in the lore and whatnot, except now you're training at the Avery J. Johnson Academy of Military Science, JAMS. So, I'll be curious then if elites are ever added, how will they handle that from the story point of view? Because there's stuff in the multiplayer overview Vidoc that like kind of shows you're kind of getting your own personal cutscene as you're introduced. So how will they handle that with elites? Are elites going to just, they're just going to toss an elite in there, or is it just going to be that you can switch to be an elite? Are they going to do something more in depth? Maybe have like a dedicated elite training ground or something? I don't know. It'd be really cool. A lot of cool ideas they could do. Anvil will hopefully will play in multiplayer. Yeah. Oh, hey, Covey Cannon. I didn't realize that was you. Yeah, that'd be nice. Do you have predictions for the stream? Not really. I say not really because I think what we're going to see is pretty basic. Like, they'll probably go over some weapon drills. They'll probably show us a bot match on at least one of the maps, if not one on all three. And if they don't show matches on all three, which I'm not thinking they will, I'm thinking they probably won't, they'll at least like kind of they'll have some kind of pre-made overview video of the maps in question that they're showing off. Can't wait to get my hands on this beta. Neither can I. Absolutely. The Great Kaiden has appeared, referring to Covenant Canon, of course. Excited to kill some bots, Halo Cannon? Yes, I am. This cannon is ready to fire. I got nothing. Ugh, flabby. How big will the download be? There have been some leaks saying about 16 gigs, but those are leaks, so take those with a huge grain of salt. What new weapons are you looking forward to using? Excuse me there. Definitely the Commando. I'm really eager to see how that compares to the assault rifle and Biara, honestly. Like, it's this weird middle ground, it looks like, between an automatic and a precision weapon, because it's like that scope that we saw in the multiplayer preview. Oop, hit my mic there. Let me see if I can pull that back up quickly. Like the scope that they show early on in here. Wow, I just skipped right forward. Like, look at how precise this weapon looks when you fire it. Like that it's a weird. So I'm very looking forward to that. Dude, the skewer looks amazing. Like, again, right here in the preview. Like, look at it. Look at this thing. Kill that. Pull it in. Just destroys that rocket hog. Oh my god. I'll be curious if we get to check out the Wasp in this preview. I'm thinking not, maybe, but that would be awesome. But yeah, Commando, Skewer, that new rifle that was on the art from E3. I'm looking forward to that. I can't remember what the hell it's called off the top of my head right now. Yeah. Hope the Spiker comes back to Infinite. If we don't have the complete, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I was going to go with that. But yeah, Spiker and Brute Shot better be in Halo Infinite. I would be shocked if they aren't. And hopefully, yes, the Heat Wave. That's the one I was thinking of. Thank you, Mythraw. Anyway, fuck. I need to stop interrupting myself because I lose my train of thought. Did you see the Heat Wave? Did you see the Heat Wave, and do you like it? I haven't seen any. I mean, I like the design, if that's what you're talking about. I haven't seen any gameplay of it. Or Stalker Rifle? Stalker Rifle. Oh my god. I am looking forward to the Heat Wave. Don't get me wrong. That's the one that, I think that's the one at least that disintegrates the player in this. Oh my god. Stalker Rifle, though. That's the one. That's the banished one I was looking forward to. Jesus Christ. My brain. Any ideas on the origins of the Heat Wave? I don't know, man. I'm hoping it's Promethean. Beyond that, I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Do you think we will see the armor cores work? Hold on. Do you think we will see how the armor cores work for customization? I hope so. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the Heat Wave. Because I saw some people asking. I'm pretty sure that's it. That weapon. Anyway. Well, Heatwave is totally Promethean. It could be. I hope it is, but it could also just be Forerunner. We don't know. Maybe it's a created weapon. Maybe. Let's not have my Discord messages pop up. Thank you very much. I'm actually gonna... Just gonna turn that off. Completely get out of there. Let's not have any anti-vax shit in the chat, even if it is even if it's in jest. Okay. Assuming 343 implement aliens at any point of view, what do you think the chances that we will see Sunshine and Prelates? Oh, for multiplayer. Okay. Prelates, like, I think elites are the most likely. Prelates, I think, are very incredibly unlikely, if not outright impossible. I would love if perhaps we got to see one in some future campaign DLC, though. That would be cool. That, I think, is our best chance to encounter one. Unless there's one in the base game. I don't know. We'll see. I want to think the Heatwave is a Cortana-made weapon for her forces. Very well could be. I will grasp at any straw that indicates the created in Halo Infinite. Love your whore-based videos, I almost said. Yes, my whore videos. I love your lore videos. Brings so much information that I never knew. I only played the Halo video games, but I never knew there was so much more information in the Halo universe. Thank you, rock on. Thank you, Manuel, for supporting the channel. I'm glad you enjoy everything. And this goes for everyone. Thank you all for supporting me. Thank you for coming here to hang out for like a half hour before the actual stream is supposed to start. I don't know why I start these half an hour early. I need to reduce that, but I do love it talking with y'all. And again, thank you for your support. I hope what I produce, what I'm continuing to produce, continues to entertain. Do you think it's possible to play as a brute? It's a possibility to play as a brute. In the base game, no. Like I said, they've already confirmed that Spartans are going to be the only thing there. Down the line, though, anything is possible. I still think elites are like the only and most likely species, but it's 10 years, man, so who the hell knows? Anything's possible. Nothing's off the table as far as I'm concerned. Favorite Halo soundtrack? ODST, easily. Are you hoping for a new non-P2W Warzone? Non-P2W Warzone. Oh, pay-to-win Warzone in the future for Infinite. My God. For the record, I don't think Warzone is pay-to-win in the slightest, but that's my opinion. To your question, I hope so. I'd love to see Warzone mixed with Dominion so that like capturing bases actually has a purpose again, besides just spawning shit or letting you call in your Rex. Like, but if you did something like that, like take domain, increase the player size, and of course the map size with that, and add AI like Warzone into that, that would be perfect as far as I'm concerned. We demand the Falcon returns. I am personally fine if that never returns. I hate the Falcon, but that's me, and I'm weird apparently. Did they ever say what the name of the Mauler-esque weapon from last? Yeah, that one is. I know it was named. I can't seem to recall it off the top of my head right now. Ugh. What the hell? I know this. Like it's on the tip of my tongue, and I'm not going to look in chat until I have figured this out myself. Come on. What is it? Mangler. Here we go. This is it, baby. The Mangler. And a nerfed Mangler. Haha. But yeah, there we go. There's the Mangler. 9 minutes, baby. Are there assassinations or not? I don't know if you've seen... I think it was Kevin Coolex's video who talked about this. It doesn't look like it, which would be weird, but... I don't know. I think it was Kevin Coolx at least. Don't quote me on that. Maybe it was somebody else. I could swear it was Kevin, though. I'm going to look this up now because it's going to bother me. Okay, that's starting soon. It's going to bother me, though, if I don't look this up. I'm just going to turn this down a little bit. Yep. Yeah. So it was Kevin Kulex's video who talked about Assassinations in Infinite and noted that noted there were moments where it seemed like you were going to see an assassination and it just didn't happen. We need a Halo Canon AI. I would definitely volunteer for that if that ever became an opportunity. What's happening right now? Don't know. For anyone who's just joined, today there's going to be a preview of the flight that is happening this weekend. It should, according to Inside Infinite from last week, it should show off everything that we're going to be able to do in the flight once it's live, which again is tomorrow. So that's basically it. We're just kind of going over that because, what else am I going to do in the afternoon? I know I have plenty I could be doing other than this, but whatever. What Gen 1, Gen 2 armor would you like to see come to Gen 3? Everything? No, let's see. Gen 2 Rogue, I'd like to see. As I don't like that it's called Rogue because it has no visual similarities. I hated that about Halo 4. Like, there's all these armors that are returning, but they have like a dozen of them have no visual similarity to their namesake. But anyway, that Air Assault 343's Air Assault is honestly one of my favorite armors. It is just perfect. I was never like the biggest fan of the Halo Reach Air Assault, but the Halo 4 one's perfect. So those two. Obviously, Mark V. I need my Mark V. Proper Mark V, because we do have that Mark V Zeta. Mark IV. Honestly, Mark IV I would want to see as its own armor core. That's ultimately what I hope for in the long run, is every generation gets its own armor core. So we have the Gen 3 Mark 7 armor core. We have the Gen 3 Mark 6 armor core. We have a Gen 2 armor core of some kind. Maybe that's just the undersuit, so we can bring in some Gen 2 stuff. Full-on Gen 2. And, of course, a Mark 4 armor core. And hell, I'd love if they could do a Mark 5 final production run, like Halo CEA armor core with its own series of attachments and shit. So, I don't know. Mark 6 mod. I definitely need Mark 6 mod. This game has to, sometime in the next 10 years, they got to make Mark 6 mod available. Come on. Gen 3 Centurion. Centurion's a really good armor. It's weird that there must be something, because as some of you may know, forgive me, Fred's armor is or his Gen 2 armor in Halo Infinite is called Cohort. Let's see if Halopedia has a page on it yet. Helios Grill, yes, absolutely. It doesn't look like they do just yet. Whoa. That's weird. Okay. But yeah, Fred's armor is now called Cohort, so there's something changed. I want to see if I can find a page on it or not. It doesn't look like they have one yet. Well, whatever. Do you think Infinite has campaign DLC? Yes. It's a 10-year game. There's no way there's not going to be campaign DLC. They might market it differently than as DLC per se, but yeah. Pathfinder's a pretty good one. Gen 2 Scout, I honestly love. I would love to have that one ported over. No changes at all. The chest is amazing. It's my go-to chest for Halo 4. Do we know what time the flight goes live? No, not yet. Hopefully, we should learn that very soon. What is it? We got 5 minutes to 4 o'clock. Or 4 o'clock my time. 2 o'clock their time. So 5 minutes. Shut up, phone. EOD and Warrior. I'd be shocked if Warrior isn't added at some point. Of all the Gen 2 designs, Warrior seems to be the one that everybody likes. So that needs to... No, Theo, you have not missed anything. What's your favorite Gen 4 Spartan? Mine is Tanaka. That's a good question, honestly. I really like Vale. Vale is a lot of fun. Very interesting backstory. Thorn. I really like Thorn, too, from Spartan Ops. And I'd like to... if I could have one thing in the next 10 years, it would be that Thorn gets his due finally. Because he should have been the main playable character of Halo 5, not Locke. And that's not because I disliked Locke or anything. Actually, I will defend Locke as he is in Halo 5. But it should have been Thorn's story, because Spartan Ops and the Halo 4 Limited Edition they're like setting up this whole mystery around the Chief, you know, from the standard grunts of the Spartan 4 program and the UNSC point of view. Like, who is he? Where'd he come from? And all this shit. And then it went nowhere. The fact that Thorn was so underused after Spartan Ops is a crime. Yes. Like, the one time we really get to... Okay, I liked what Escalation did with him, even if the art was kind of god-awful. But then the next time he appears is Majestic Game Night, where he wins the sword of Paul DeMarco. And I mean, it was nice to have that story, but I didn't think it was all that good. And then, like, it wasn't all that well presented. And then it's like, that was it. We need more. I wish Thorn was in Halo 5 as well. 343 set him up so well in Spartan Ops. Hey, Church, how you doing? Can't wait for AI bot matches. Honestly, neither can I. I'm glad it's finally happening. Good evening, Mr. Toa. Hello, Toast. How you doing? Seeker helmet. You know what? It has its fans, so if they want it, let them have it. It has no effect on me what somebody else puts on their Spartan. Especially with all the armor choices we already very clearly have. Wasn't the actor the reason Thorn was not in Halo 5? Yeah, it was. Part of it was definitely scheduling issues, or like that was the core reason. They always could have recast him or maybe figured something else out. I'm not the biggest fan of the idea. Here's the thing though. Like they said they didn't want to do Thorn because they didn't want to have somebody else's voice come out of him, and then it just happened that it's not because of scheduling conflicts, they had to recast Locke's voice. So I kind of wish they'd just done it from the start. Now, granted, that's with the benefit of hindsight, but still. I need Buck and Thel story DLC stuff. On the subject of Buck DLC, I want to see, like, essentially an ODST too. So, not real ODST since they're not ODSTs anymore, but basically an Alpha 9 focused campaign. You play as Buck and you have the other members of Alpha 9 with you. Or hell, maybe just for the fun of it, you can choose which member of Alpha 9 you experience the story as. It wouldn't fundamentally change a whole lot, or maybe it could. Oh my god, my brain is exploding with ideas right now. Like, you choose which member you play as, and like the start of the campaign is the same, the end is the same, but each character has like unique levels to get them to that end. Oh my god, that would be so cool. Buck is so overrated. I agree, he can be, and that's definitely part of the cult of Nathan Fillion, which I am happy to say I'm a subscriber of. But he does get probably a lot more undue attention than he deserves. I can do a lot. Noble 6 in Fortnite. I mean, whatever. Fortnite can do what it wants. I don't care about Fortnite. My opinion, Spartan 4s are underrated. They absolutely are. I get why they are, but it seems like a bad for. I wish people could move past that first impression of them, because there's some really interesting shit there. Wow, we have 400 concurrent viewers. That's probably one of my tops in a long time. So thank you for everyone who's viewing. Blue Team DLC. Yes. Okay, here we go. And let me know if you guys can't hear this.
A new generation built to fight. Together, we are unstoppable. Are you ready?
Can you guys hear the audio on this okay? Between me and the video that's playing? Turn it up? Okay, sorry. Wow, when I was testing this out earlier, it was so much louder. Okay. Right now I have the desktop audio boosted to max. I have the audio here boosted max, so I literally can't turn it up any. I literally can't turn this up anymore.
Skewer acquired.
Yeah, the sync is a little off, isn't it?
Claim the enemy flag. Return it to base. Ordnance drop inbound.
Okay, hold on. I'm switching over to Twitch. Because it seems like the audio there is working. Nope, it's just as off. Okay.
Please call ass at your earliest.
Hopefully that's just for this trailer and not for the stream itself. It is a bit better, isn't it? Oh my god. The fact that we can just throw fusion coils is still the coolest. Whoa. What? What just happened? Okay, hold on. Oh shit, the Twitch stream died. Okay. I guess we're sticking with...
Hey everyone, what is
Oh
up?
my
This is
god,
Brian,
that
also
hair!
known as Sketch across
Holy
the
crap.
community, and we are coming to you live today from 343 Industries here in Redmond, Washington. And let me just say, it feels great to be back. I feel like today has been a long time coming. I'm excited to finally kick this off. I know you all are, so welcome to today's
there we
live
go.
stream, and we are going to dive into this weekend's upcoming Halo Infinite tech preview.
Okay.
Now, before we get going, just want to give you guys a little bit of context for what we're going to cover today. We're going to have a couple guests rotate through. We're going to dive right into
Halo
the same
3
exact
helmet,
build that
Halo
Halo
4
Insiders
helmet.
will get their hands on starting
I think
tomorrow.
that's Halo 4.
We are
that-
live, so all the same known issues that
Halo
we're aware of in this tech preview that's work in progress are also in this build today. So who knows what's going to happen.
Quick, bring the string
Hopefully
up-
everything goes
stream up on
smoothly,
Mixer.
but just ask everyone to bear with us. Also, I've kind of been in my house in the quarantine for about 2 years, if you can't tell. So we might be a little bit rusty, but we're going to have a lot of fun today. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about and show. So to kick things off, want to introduce Sam Hanshaw, producer on the live team. Sam, welcome.
Thanks. It's good to be here. I'm ready to have some fun and introduce our fans to our first
Jay and
tech
Silent
preview.
Bob. That's some Silent Bob
let's
hair.
sort of
Yeah.
start by setting a little bit of context. And I know folks are eager to see stuff and dive in. We're going to get to that in a few minutes, but just let's kind of start at the highest level. We talk about fighting a lot. We talk about tech previews a lot. Kind of what do we want our viewers and our insiders to know? Like, what do we mean? Like, what is the context for what this really is?
Sure. So I think that calling it a tech preview, that encapsulates it. We're testing our technology here. We're looking to get players into games. We're looking to make sure that the servers are up and running well. Make sure that we can support everything with our service infrastructure. Obviously, we also want people to have fun while doing it. And we need to get feedback on the breadth of hardware that we know is out there. You know, we can't test on every combination of hardware that people have for their PCs, but we know that the folks at home can. And so we need your help to do that.
And this is safe to say this will be the biggest scale test that we've been able to do to date. We're talking hundreds of
Sorry,
thousands
guys, that was
of
my
Halo
snip
insiders
tool.
have been invited to participate this weekend. And obviously, we've been hard at work testing. We've done smaller scale flights to lead up to this point. But like, what does that process look like? Like, what's had to happen to get us to where we are today?
Sure, quite a bit. Been some hurdles along the way for sure. We cut this branch about 2 months ago, and that's when we started with a lot of the testing for it and kind of targeted bug fixes towards getting a stable product to have out today for tech preview. Now, it's 2 months old. It's still got some bugs. We know that. We've got a robust known issues list for folks to be prepared before they dive in. And we expect you to hit some new bugs that we haven't seen. And that's part of what we're excited about, because we need your help to find these bugs, and so we can see how they're reproduced and fix them internally. But yeah, it's been about 2 months of testing, fixing, and play testing to get to this.
And if I really wanted to roll it back even further, it's safe to say that we've been flighting as kind of a process, which, by the way, for those that aren't familiar, because not everybody uses the same jargon out
Right, if
there.
you're not
When we talk about
familiar with
flighting,
it.
it's really the process of putting out kind of iterative pre-release software to a target audience with some expected goals to go after. We put the build out, it tests, we get the feedback, and we act on that feedback and sort of move on to the next one. So safe to say, we've been doing this for quite some time at a much smaller scale. So this is not the first time we've put the game in the hands of civilians, so to speak. So we've been getting feedback all along. I just kind of wanted to bring that point up. This is not, it's not like we've just been heads down. This is our first time sharing our baby with the world. We've had a small group of various insider private flights, user research. So all these inputs have been a critical part of development really since the beginning, certainly. But now we're opening the floodgates to get all sorts of new perspectives and I think critically, fresh eyes, brand new perspectives.
Yeah, absolutely. Fresh eyes, fresh hardware, like everything that we could ask for. It's coming from the hundreds of thousands of people who are going to be playing this weekend.
So before we move on, I also just want to comment on, if your Twitter feed's like mine, the invites started rolling out yesterday about 5 p.m. to eligible insiders. It's been kind of a whirlwind of emotions, I'm sure, for many people. Sending out hundreds of thousands of emails, it turns out, takes a lot of time. There are people, as of an hour or two ago, I'm seeing are just now receiving their emails. So I think my message to everyone is, not everyone will get in this particular tech preview and this flight. And we knew that was going to be the case because, we need to incrementally grow. We sort of want to walk before we run, right? But I do want to make sure people know that there will be future opportunities, right? This is not the only tech preview that we've planned between now and launch.
That's correct. This is the first and probably the smallest. So as we grow and over the coming months, as we put out new builds with additional features, they're each going to have a larger and larger audience as we head towards launch.
So just really critically, if you want to be a participant in a future tech preview or flight, please head to haloinsider.com. Anyone can opt in at any point. Make sure your profile is completed. We'd love to get more and more people.
Make sure all those check marks are green.
As Sam mentioned. So Sam, maybe now let's shift gears a little bit. I think one of the really cool and ambitious aspects of this project is kind of the breadth of platforms that we're going to support right now. I mean, not only is our multiplayer experience free to play, but cross-play. I mean, we are really truly going to where our players are, regardless of platform.
Yeah, and this tech preview is no exception. We're going to be flighting this tech preview on
Don't
all
open
the
the floodgates, are you crazy?
Ship with at launch. So you're going to be able to play on anything in the Xbox One family, the Series X and Series S, and we're going to be going out to, as I said before, a variety of PC hardware, and all of that's going to be cross-play.
I'm curious how many
PC,
years
by the way,
they'll continue
also on
supporting
Steam, which we know
Xbox
a lot of fans
One.
were excited about. I think for the purpose of this tech preview, we're only on Steam for PC, but obviously for launch, that won't be the only means of playing our game. Now, one thing we did want to know, I think, Sam, at a high level, safe to say that the experience that we're going to put out in this tech preview, specifically on each of these platforms, when it comes to like fidelity and performance, safe to say that what's in the preview today is not necessarily indicative of our targets when we launch this game.
Yeah, that's correct. So performance is something that we're working on week after week. And as I said before, this is a build that's about 2 months old. So we cut this from main 2 months ago to work on it. And a lot of the performance work that goes in wasn't appropriate to bring over to this branch because performance work can often create instability. We wanted to keep this as stable as possible when we launch it to you all. So this build, about 2 months behind in terms of performance, and obviously there's more runway to go before we launch later this year.
And I would assume the data we get from this tech preview will be really valuable as we continue to sort of make sure we're supporting the widest breadth of PC configurations, for example. And really the team's goal is to deliver a really solid, performant, good-looking experience catered to every platform that we support.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
So speaking of that, I know people are eager to see some stuff.
Okay, come on.
It's kind of cool, really, if you think about it, live to date, we've only ever shown Halo Infinite running on PC. And we're going to do that here live today in a little bit. We're going to show some stuff off. But this is going to be the first time people can see what the game looks like running on an actual Xbox hardware. So prior to this stream, we were able to put together a little bit of gameplay capture. And I'd like to give folks a glimpse at, this is going to be a Halo Infinite multiplayer match recorded, I believe, last week here in the studio, just to give people a sense of this is the game as it currently stands in this build running on an Xbox One. So I'm going to give a shout out to Joshua here behind the scenes. He's running production for the live stream. Josh, if you want to cue that up, I think people are really eager to see some gameplay. Let's take a look. Let's see how this game's looking currently on Xbox One.
All right, here we go. I heard a chicken. Oh my god, look at that. You can mark stuff. You see that? Yeah, I remember they talked about that in one of the employee highlights. Okay. Da da da. Baby Well, it's you can definitely tell it's raw, it's real. That's kind of cool that Mark's can actually.
Sam, clearly we're looking at a little Slayer match here on Bazaar, one of our new maps. There's a lot to take in, I'm sure, for viewers.
Xbox
who
One,
are
it looks really
seeing
good.
A lot of stuff for the first time here.
There you go.
Yeah, I can't remember if we've shown things like the Pulse Carbine being used in the first person. I think it was briefly shown in the multiplayer trailer.
Yep.
And I think this is the first time
Isolating
we've
those
shown
clips of
first-person
that for
view
my
of someone walking
Inside
around in
Infinite video
Bazaar.
was
I
really
think it has.
difficult.
We're also right now kind of getting a look at the friend and foe system that we've discussed in
Yeah,
some
you can
of our
see
blogs
the
in past.
outlines.
This is kind of moving away from forcing players into red and blue. Allows us to kind of maintain that unique armor customization that's become a greater focal point for Halo Infinite.
Yeah, and I think this is a pretty good example of that, and I think you're really seeing those colors pop out on the Xbox One hardware.
Oh, wait a minute. What the
Great.
heck?
I think I just noticed a custom
Look at the
skin
shields.
applied to that AR
The
there
shields
that I
aren't
saw
yellow
briefly.
anymore. What the heck?
I missed it, unfortunately. I do
Oh,
love
I gotta
it.
pick-
Oh, yeah. I love the AR skins.
Yeah, I
It's,
think-
it's kind of nice being able to customize your starting weapon. It's the one you're going to see most often, so I like to have mine.
Yeah, look at that. The shields on the enemies are red and the
Internally,
allies
from
are
a
blue.
development
That's
playtest perspective. I mean, obviously we've got.
I hope
teams
there's a
focusing
toggle
on
for
all
that.
platforms and all builds.
'Cause, like,
And safe
there's
to
an
say that
accessibility
we've got
aspect
folks
there,
surely getting
but-
sweaty on Durango, on Xbox Series X and S, and low, medium, and high PC specs as well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'm not a fan of the
obviously,
colored
as I said
shields
before,
personally.
We can't cover every PC spec out there, but we try to have a good range within our testing. And we
Yeah,
have
the
folks
Sidekick-
playing on
Sidekick looks
Xbox
really
Ones
good.
regularly, myself included. I try and play test on Xbox One as much as possible, because it's a really important thing for us to support and make sure it's looking good.
Yeah, it really is awesome that we're able to kind of bring that audience forward with us, right? We know
Oh,
there's,
this map looks
there's
like so much
obviously
fun.
a large amount of
neither.
Xbox One players
Oh.
out there, especially as, you know, frankly,
That's
some
kind of a
people, I
weak
think, are still
explosion,
eager to
though.
acquire a new console, and with some of the supply chain issues that have come around during the pandemic. Not
Don't get me
necessarily
wrong.
easy
I'm
for
loving what I'm
everyone,
seeing so far overall. Just
you know,
got some
thankfully, I'm
criticisms
not one
here
of
and
the
there that I'm
engineers. I
gonna
can't imagine it's
be
necessarily
ready
a
to
trivial
share at the end of the
undertaking
flight.
to be able to scale so smartly across different hardware. But I gotta say, shaping up super nice, and really looking forward to getting some feedback from Xbox One players after this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's going to wrap up that
Shield
clip that we
color
have.
change
Now
is
we're gonna
better
show
for
a little more
gameplay.
gameplay
Yeah,
here
I
in a
get
bit.
that for sure. Like I said, I hope
gonna
it's a
have Tom
toggle because I'd like to be able to
French,
toggle
our
that off if I
multiplayer
can.
Associate creative director, join us. We have
They already
another
said that
match
you
from
can
Xbox Series
affect
X that we're
the
gonna get into.
outline.
But once this wraps up, we're going to jump back over to the build, and we're going to look through this real flight build here. By the way,
How
I
long
heard
can they
you're a real
support
Needler-
Xbox One?
Needler
That's my
fan. Is that
question.
true?
That is true. I love the Needler. I think it's one of the most unique weapons we have in Halo.
Oh, yes, it
and
is.
I've loved every expression of it. Hasn't always been the most powerful gun in the game, but it's always been interesting to use.
It
4
feels
and
like
5
it
are my
shreds in this
favorites.
game, at least in our playtest, right?
Yeah.
It's do not sleep
who
on the
knows?
Needler this weekend. I'll just say that.
Okay.
Yeah, especially like,
Challenge
against
accepted.
Bots, like they don't know how to deal with it, so
Yeah,
it's real good against them.
You mentioned bots. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later in the show today when Tom
Okay.
joins us. Why don't
Wondering how
we
long
sort of
this is
pivot
gonna go
back
on
now
then.
to the real build, which I'm sure people are really eager to see. And I thought maybe we just kind of help give our players who are going to be a part of the tech preview, just kind of give them the lay of the land a little bit, show them what they can expect and what that's going to look like. So Josh, maybe
Neither
if you
grenade.
wanna
Yes.
cut to we'll go.
They
to
have
my
that in
feed,
in the
I reckon,
lore,
and
actually.
we can sort of take a look at
Proximity mine.
at our lobby space, I guess. You know, what is the official term for this space that we're going to feed into? Once Josh is able to kind of hit that switch. There we go. So this is it, right? This is our tech preview build. We're looking at it right now live.
Yep, this is the essentially the menu that you're going to hit as soon as you boot up. So you can see like the multiplayer and academy options there. If you hit start, you can get into our main settings, and there's a few settings I think we want to
Oh, God.
Yeah,
show
let's
off.
take a
and
look.
highlight.
I mean,
Let's not touch that.
no, I like settings. No one's ever seen these settings in detail before, so we'll
Okay,
kind of
yeah.
take a look here. So we want to make sure.
Oh, look at that.
obviously,
They got a
players
dedicated
understand, and, like,
accessibility.
first thing you should do if you're going to be in
I mean,
the
that
tech
makes
preview this
sense,
weekend,
but
probably just kind of get
I hope
acclimated.
they go over there.
Tweak your settings to your liking. Just make sure that things are sort of the way you want them, if you will. So I think, I'll just quickly scroll through. I'm not going to speak to every one of these. I think we'll be here all afternoon, but I think you're going to find a lot of sort of what you'd expect to find in some regards.
to zoom.
You know, hold to sprint if I want to do
Interesting
that.
choice.
I
I
kind
mean,
of really
I'm all
dial in
for
my
good for choices.
sensitivity and all that.
Holy
I'm pretty
crap.
casual, so I kind of tend to just run default in a lot of cases.
That's
I'm not
almost
afraid to
too
admit
much. Almost.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not
that
saying
I've
that's
never gotten
bad.
into all the zoom sensitivity settings, but
I'm just worried I would
They're
get
there.
I would get myself into a state where I would just never land a shot again, or who knows, maybe I would suddenly sort of evolve to the next level.
Hopefully the audio setup isn't
Now,
that.
keyboard and mouse
Hopefully we'll see.
players on PC and also I believe console now supports mouse and keyboard as well. Excuse me.
Yep.
Couple things here they might want to look at that's pretty interesting. If we can get down to it, is the fact that triple keybinds. You have a lot of
Ooh,
flexibility
nice.
here in how you want to set up your keys. I want to give a shout out.
AI
guys, all the
scan.
work that
Yeah, I
happened
think
over
that's
the
what
last
we
couple
saw
years
during the
to
July
update
demo
MCC and
last-
bring that to
last
PC,
year.
and all the fantastic work by the pub team. Being able to have triple keybinds was
Holy
super
mother of
important in the PC
sliders.
community. That was great feedback that we heard, and that's a good example of just one of taking those learnings and kind of that experience and bringing it over to the Infinite side.
yeah, I think we owe a great debt to all the work that MCC and the publishing.
Yeah,
team
there's a
has
drop
done
weapon option,
with
so that's
diving
interesting.
like feet first into the PC environment.
curious,
and
'cause-
getting us ready for this.
I'll hover on
Hmm.
this one for a minute because I'm pretty sure I haven't been able to do this before in a game. Have I been able to actually just straight up drop my weapon for a teammate before?
Not that I know of, and honestly, it's been quite fun to use, especially when you're playing with like some less experienced players. You can just secure rockets for them and then hand it over to them. They get to play around with a power weapon that they might not normally have gotten.
So, dare we say maybe this is the end of betraying your teammates to take sniper?
Yeah, now you just gotta extort them, I guess.
Possibly. Cool. So, a whole bunch of stuff here. This is something else that we,
scan.
I think, was mentioned in one of our
Helmet lights.
employee
So helmet
spotlight
lights are
blogs,
back.
but, marking.
There's the marking.
This is also a new element to Halo games.
Yeah, and I've actually been really happy with the marking system. So if you're on PC, it is super easy just to mark everyone you see.
We
And
can
the game
drop
rewards
weapons
you for it.
now.
You actually get points. You get
We
a
can drop
mark
weapons
assist if
now?
someone
We can
kills
drop
someone who
weapons
you've marked.
now.
It stacks with your normal assist points. And I believe there's a medal you can earn
There is.
for marking enough people who get killed.
So I'll just kind of scroll through here quickly so we don't totally get inundated in settings, but it just goes on and on and on. So let me go over here to video as well. Something else I just kind of wanted to point out, which by the way, that is criminal for me to be on a FOV of only 70, but
Yes, it is.
we heard, I think this
Fix
has always
that.
been something Halo fans have wanted. We know, and everyone knows, the FOV really does have a dynamic impact on your experience in terms of not only just your vision, but the sensation of movement and speed. All those things are greatly impacted. So pretty awesome to me that on day one we already have a field of view slider, and this is going to be available on, I think, on multiple platforms. It's not a PC-only feature.
That's correct, yeah.
I mean, what's your preference? I kind of generally like to kick it up here, maybe
saw
in the
thruster.
90 to 100
Well,
range. I mean, we
guessing
can
a
go all
thruster's
the
an
way up to
equipment now.
120 if we really wanted
My
to.
God.
Yeah, I usually like to keep
110
it at
master
95 to
race.
100.
All right, well, I'll split the difference. We'll go 95 there.
Oh, this is
but
cool.
yeah,
Look at
just
that.
kind of go through
See
here.
how much
Lots of
power it's
different
taking.
nuanced graphical settings to really allow people to custom tailor based on
Very
their
nice.
own personal preferences,
Sky
what's
quality,
most important to them on their
volumetric
PC
fall.
hardware. If I didn't mention that, if it's not clear, we are playing on PC here currently.
Dynamic
so,
wind. Sounds interesting.
You will not have the full breadth of all these options necessarily on every platform, but clearly for PC, it makes the most sense. I thought this is pretty cool too.
Is it streaming on
Being able
Twitch?
to
Yes,
sort of
this is
opt
the
in or
Twitch.
opt out of something that we call speed lines. So when
that
you're
I'm
sprinting
watching.
in the game, we have some cool
Oh.
visual effects that help sort of really convey that sense
Oh,
of
that's cool.
increased speed.
Turn those
But
on
if
and
I don't
off.
like it, I can just turn it off.
Yeah, I think the fact that we've got so many settings that are tailored so that you can fully immerse yourself, or if you're looking for a stripped down experience, if you don't want that, you can turn it off.
Same thing goes, of course, lots of audio customization here.
Subtitles.
I want
Oh,
to
yeah,
make
here
sure
we go.
people are aware of things like subtitles. You can turn those off and on if you want to. I did want to call this out as well. I know you and I were talking earlier about this, but
Voice chat mode,
just
very
a
important.
little bit of a public service announcement for anyone playing this weekend in the tech preview. By default, currently in this build, your mic is just set to full open, full hot. So some people might like that, some people may not.
Yeah,
Personally, I
no.
was kind of caught by surprise when I was saying a bunch of stuff in the game, and I thought it was private. So I just wanted to pass that my
That's the
learnings on to
worst.
you, so no one gets kind of caught maybe in a precarious situation there.
Sketch, looking out
So
for the
yeah,
community.
A lot of different options here, including Spartan Chatter. We'll hear a little
Yeah,
bit more
Spartan
of that when
Chatter.
we roll some more footage. And then the last thing I thought would be kind of cool to really point out, we've talked about this a little bit briefly in some of our blogs, but we have this new system that we're calling Friend and Foe, right? Which
Oh,
in order
yes.
to really support and embrace our
Famine.
goals and our aspirations about leaning more into player expression and having a lot more cool ways to customize your own Spartan and your own Spartan journey, it just didn't really work anymore to force everyone into a default red or blue model, right?
Right. And so by default, we have red and blue outlines, but for accessibility purposes, we know that various people can't see in certain shades, so we've got a wide array of colors that you can choose for both enemies and friends, and you can also customize the folks in your fire team to be another unique color.
No new gameplay just yet. No.
It is really flexible.
I mean,
really
there was
cool. I
some
also
broad
personally being able,
multiplayer
being able to
play,
sort
but
of,
we should be
if I wanna
seeing
go old
actual
school and
gameplay
display a full gamer
very
tag
soon.
above someone's
Or,
head. I can
new
do
gameplay
that.
very
Also helps
soon.
me sometimes when I'm personally just trying to register a friend from foe. And then, you know, I should
That's
call
kinda
this
cool.
out. You'll see this in the UI menu here. The theater will not be included in the tech preview, so we won't have that experience. The theater is coming
that's
back, though. So,
unfortunate.
and you know, event timeline is a brand new feature. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but you could probably surmise what that might mean in the context of the theater. And this is pretty crazy too. Weapon offsets. So
Oh,
people wanna be able
nice.
to move that stuff
It even
around, I
got some
guess.
customization about the specifics.
I know people who like to get a slightly different gameplay experience based on some old school games where they have the weapon more
Very
centered.
nice.
Or some people like to just push it way off. Or off that they hit
Halo
their
Canon,
mic.
are you
Sorry
on
about
Twitch?
that.
No. I only
Yeah, I
stream on
guess,
YouTube.
you know, one of the predominant
I do have a
themes here is
Twitch
just
account,
trying
but
to
I
give
don't use
players
it.
as many options as possible to really dial in the
Okay, here we
experience
go.
to suit their personal tastes, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is just a set of menus, but I'm really looking forward to hearing what people think of these settings and the things that they can put together to customize it to exactly how they want to be. I want Halo to be like the comfiest chair in your house.
I like that. All right,
That's
so let's
beautiful.
back out of the settings. Something else I think we want to point out to participants in the tech preview just to keep an eye on this weekend. The news feed. Wow, this is like next-gen news. No, seriously. This is just good to keep an eye on if you're playing in the tech preview. We will probably use this to convey updates over the course of the flight, critical information. If the playlist experience evolves, we'll let people know.
Xbox
through
version
here,
will
right?
have all
And I
this.
think, Sam,
Yeah,
you
there's a
wanted to
lot of
specifically call this one
PC-specific
out in
stuff in
particular,
here,
right?
but you should
Yeah,
be able
so
to get
we've got
most of this on
notifications
Xbox.
for people on PC, especially if you're using the AMD GPU. You're going to want to make sure you update to the latest driver. It is a significant performance increase for PC users on AMD GPUs. So
Oh, wow, that's
please
really
make
good.
sure you do that, and make sure you check out the news for that kind of attention announcement.
Awesome.
I'm
Well,
not sure
Sam,
how I feel
think
about
that's
this
all
menu.
I got for you today. Any final parting words or thoughts before we jump over and dig into some customization?
Now I want to see the customization too. Thanks for having
Oh,
me.
yes.
Thank you, Sam. We'll be right back in just a moment. We're going to be joined by Jerry Hook here, and we're going to talk about all the things you can do to customize your Spartan in the tech preview. Be right back in just a moment.
A new day is upon us. A new generation built to
All right, we'll just mute that for now. We don't need to watch the same damn trailer again. And in terms of features, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Main thing I want, because I didn't see it, is a toggle to turn to change the actual shield colors, so they'd be. God damn it! Stop touching your mic, Ian. So that they'd be classic yellow. Because again, I don't want to get rid of that feature. I am all for accessibility, so I never want to get rid of a feature, just because I don't necessarily like it. If it helps other people play the game. But I would love to have the option to turn that off. Oh, I can't wait to use the repulsor. That is so cool. The repulsor seems like something you could build an entire game around. Gonna give my Spartan more prosthetics than Darth Vader. Yep. They don't have any other B-roll. I guess not. Shields and multiplayer trailer are yellow. Yeah, because they're from an earlier build, I'm guessing. Well, not guessing. Yeah, they're probably from an earlier build, and then I guess something happened where they decided to change the colors. SmartLink thoughts. Funny enough, I was actually watching the Shyway's new video about ADS SmartLink in Halo 5 and how it might be in Halo Infinite. I mean, I never had an issue with it in Halo 5. I like it, but I'll need to see how it's implemented in Infinite to really make a judgment call. Can't wait to try the Heatwave. Yeah. Won't shield colors be under friend or foe color option? Well, you have the outline, and I'm guessing that the shield colors change with whatever outline color you go with. I would like to be able to change that independently. What do you think of shield? What do you think the shields in the FFA games will be? They'll probably be the default yellow, and you probably lose the outline. Because there's no point for it in there. Okay. Should be coming back soon, hopefully. Any advice for someone who's going in who might have skipped Halo 5? I mean, in terms of multiplayer, there's nothing you really need to know.
Thanks everyone. We are back now.
And
this is our
the campaign is supposed
Halo
to be set up
Infinite
so
Tech preview live stream
jump
here
in
at
without
343
issue.
Industries in Redmond, Washington. My next guest has just sat down
All
next
right.
to me. Please welcome Jerry Hook.
Hey.
Jerry, head of design. Welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Really looking forward to this. It's very exciting, and we're doing it live. Like,
This is
could
live.
not be more nerve-wracking
Hey,
than
what?
doing it live.
I probably have like 5 people watching. No pressure, no stress.
Not
I
a
mean,
big deal.
it's just between us, right?
Yeah,
We're just
absolutely.
playing some Halo, talking about Halo.
Yep.
So Jerry, I think you're going to join us today. We're going to talk a little bit about sort of the player progression, customization side of the game, things that kind of fall under our live team umbrella. Kind of from your perspective through that lens, what are you and the team looking for? What are your kind of high level goals? What does this tech preview mean to you?
Yeah, well, first let's really talk about what a live game means to us. Like, we have so much coming into Halo that we've never had before. We're on more
Your Fortnite
platforms.
graphic
We're on
upgrade looks
PC.
crazy.
We're free to play for the first time. So that means a lot, and that has a lot of changes that go into the fundamentals. And part of what I do as head of design is help ensure that everyone has their best work show up in the game. And the base fundamentals we use, we have some pillars that we're using to help make sure that our players get the best experience possible. And the first one of those pillars is player first. And you see that
customization
primarily
features you're
represented in some
excited
of
to
our
see?
attributes, specifically that, hey, look,
The prosthesis looks
the
really cool.
time and,
And
the
the
money that
personal
you're
AI.
investing in our title are extremely important. They're job one for us.
The
That's
designer
why you
Halo's
see us
Mr.
move the Battle
Fantastic.
Pass,
Yeah, I see it.
to allowing us to have that battle pass be switched, and then players aren't feeling the 100%
Is MCC down?
FOMO to, I got to get it now, right? That's a player first model. The other player first model that we're looking for is that our experiences, we want to delight, and we want to have those experiences grow as we
that guy
move
Phil
forward.
Spencer? No.
The delight's pretty key
I
there,
think it's
because we
Jeremy
don't want to fall
Hook.
into some of the traps that you see with other free-to-play games where they just add chores, or they just add things that aren't really delighting the player, but the player has to get through. And so these mentalities change fundamentally what we're doing from a Halo perspective. Next big pillar is we want to listen, we want to learn, and we want to experiment with all of you as players. And this is critical. Like, Sketch, you're such a critical piece of this, of listening to the community, and it's everyone out there right now is screaming about Assassinations and screaming about Sprint and everything else, that all the various community members, they want to have a voice in the hobby that they love. And we're hoping to bring that to you, and working with you and your team, Sketch and Uni, and as well as when you look at Toshin, you look at our esports communities, all of them have voices that we want to make sure that we can hear and bring into our experiences. The next pillar off of that is the story doesn't end with Master Chief. The story is actually your story as well, and our story is going to grow even in the multiplayer side. And this is pretty critical when you take a look at what Tom French and the team have done with Academy and all the other stories that they're bringing to play. That's your story in our universe, and we want to make sure that you have a story that continues with you. And then lastly is just for the team. You see so many stories of game development teams
Looking forward
being
to see
burned
exactly
down
how
in
they
order to
capitalize
progress.
that.
And we want to make sure that our core pillar of
There are
we
no
wanna be
elites,
able to
Covey
build
Cannon,
a
sorry.
sustainable and predictable game for all of you. And
Can we get
that's
some story
really,
mode today?
really
No,
critical,
we're not getting any
because
story. This is
if
pure
the team
multiplayer.
isn't there and the team isn't supporting all of the experiences we want to bring to you, then you won't have those experiences. And so we have to do it in a very predictable fashion. The other thing,
Jumped from him to
first
Experience stream
perspective,
over here, and it
our
was so
players should be able
seamless.
to trust
Good to
us that
hear.
when we say, hey, we're going to go after,
I kinda consider him a benchmark for my own quality.
The lists on Reddit and whatnot, right? And those lists are huge, right? And we obviously can't solve
Spartan
all of
ups
them
too, hopefully.
on day one. In our launch, we're going to launch, and we know that we probably made some mistakes that you're not going to like from all of you, and we're going to need to correct some of those. And some of those you're like, hey, can you make it bigger? We want to go after those as well. So that's all pretty critical. And so in this tech preview,
I definitely love
which
the
isn't a
attitude that
beta,
they have towards this game.
is
fucking
we're testing
perfect.
the technical side of it, and so you purchase everything. If you're in the technical preview, just go purchase everything. We need to test all of our services and connecting with our
Spend all that
commerce
e-currency.
engines
Spend
and
all
our
them
commerce
credits.
services. And Joaquin and our service team are just, man, they're on point. They're amazing, and we just need to make sure that all the technology works. but we will have some customization.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not a full customization at all of what'll be in the launch product, but that customization is going to help at least help us understand what's important to you from the small subset that we're giving you to play with.
Well, I think we should take a look at some of that. Speaking about my custom Spartans, I did want to just clarify one point. You're talking about spend as much as you can, buy everything.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, everyone invited to this tech preview will be granted a bunch of credits. So we're not asking anyone to spend your real money. So
Yeah,
in
no,
fact,
not at all.
We won't even take your
Never
money.
down
There's
in
no
my
way to
mind,
do
but I'm glad that they
but we're gonna
clarified
give
that,
you
'cause I'm
our
sure
money
that
and
would have
ask you to
been
spend it and
a
just go
point
have
of
fun.
outrage.
So,
And remember,
somewhere.
prices aren't.
What? I have
None
to
of
spend
that is
money on the
final. We're
preview?
just trying to get, some semblance of differences, so you as players would know what what's
Yep.
better value, what's lower value.
Well, let's go back into the build here, Josh. I guess we'll go to my screen, if you will, and I'm going to go into the customize menu here up at the top. Jerry, I thought we might just kind of run through a few of these things, and then we'll kind of just navigate through the world of customization as it exists in this build, which, as you already noted, is just a subset of what we can expect to find in the shipping.
I'm really
game.
curious
So
what presentation
I think we'll just go down
is.
the list here. People
Yeah.
are probably very eager, I assume. They've never seen this. By the way, I do like this idle animation. You let it sit, and it just kind of cycles through some really cool sort of 3D assets.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah, the
It's nice.
The other cool thing is, like, you just pop into customization. You already know we're doing a lot more, and it's great to hear Sam and you notice some of the customization that's going on with bots and in your own hands with, with your AR. That's all in the game for people to play with.
All right, well, let's start by going in the armor hall, and then we're
Yeah.
just going to kind of quickly move through here, and then we'll kind of bounce around like you and I discussed.
Yeah,
So
look at the
armor hall,
detail on
pretty
that gun.
self-explanatory. This is where I'm going to customize my Spartan's armor, right? So
Yeah.
right away, here we go. Now for this tech preview, because it's a subset, I'm going to have one armor core, and that's going to be my Mark 7 armor core. And Jerry, you and I have discussed this a little bit. Just there's been a lot of questions, I think, in the community since we first started talking about
they gonna
armor
answer
cores,
it?
right? And we've demonstrated this and sort of showed it off in our old overview video and some prior blogs. So how would you sort of best describe, like, what is an armor core and sort of how should we think about that?
Yeah, so this is one of our
I'm trying to get some
new
answers on
systems.
this.
So Christopher Blum and Jeremy have done a really great job here creating a system. One of the things when we stepped back in design, we wanted to rethink how do we help make sure that our players are really represented as characters. And when you take a look at Spartan armor, it's like strapping on an F-22, or maybe you want a set of armor that is like an M1 Abrams tank, right? Each one of those vehicles is unique and has a unique character. The other great thing about that, the thing we're trying to build is we're trying to make sure that the character of that armor really comes through. There's really no better way to show this than, hey, Josh, you have one of the pictures, one of the concept pictures? Yeah. Okay. So everyone saw at the end of that amazing multiplayer trailer the samurai armor. When we talk about strapping on a piece of armor as a unique character, I think our first fracture core, and we call these fractures because they're not part of the main canon. They're part of basically side universes that you can look at. You can look at how we're trying to develop the character, and our artists have done an amazing job of really
Some
trying to
people are still getting
represent
their
the
preview
breadth of what we want
invites,
to look at,
their technical
maintaining the
preview
character
invites.
throughout the entire armor set, and more importantly, allowing that customization and you as a player saying, "Hey, look, when I strap on that samurai armor tank, I want to make sure that I can make it mine." And this is the breadth in which we can really express, but stay within the character. We don't want everyone to feel like they're just all one part of a single vehicle, basically.
Well,
and so then you can look at.
I think that all but confirms you won't be able to
what
mix and
the
match
artists have
parts
been
from
able
other
to
armor cores.
Think about it, and you take
Probably
a look at
helmets
the attachments
either.
that you're seeing there. You're seeing swords. You're seeing, a bandolier. You're seeing grenades. You're seeing
That's
different
disappointing.
hip pieces. You're seeing daggers. You're seeing darts. You're seeing whole different expression of what a samurai could look like. And that's pretty critical for us to help, at least in this first impression and our first moment for everyone at launch. Because remember, at a live game perspective, we are expecting everyone to provide feedback, what works, what doesn't work, so what do you want to see more, and that's where the game will grow as we move forward.
Yeah, this is
You can go
awesome,
back,
by the
Josh.
way. I'm super excited by the Yoroi Samurai in particular, which, by the way, we've also confirmed will be one of the first free pieces of content that players can earn in Season 1 by just completing a free event, which is very cool.
Absolutely. And again, that type of completion where just playing the game and earning things is still a part of not only our DNA, but again, from a free-to-play game, we want to make sure that we provide multiple avenues, not just the Battle Pass, but you have different ways, and we'll show that as we go forward, different ways in which you can earn things.
Yeah, right now I'm just kind of cycling through the weapon bench just to give give our viewers a sense of what that looks like. So, if I were to equip weapon coatings, I could check
He's not
them
doing
out
the best
here.
job, no.
I'm just sort of scrolling
I
through
get
to
what
give
he's
people a
saying,
chance
but
to see
I
some
can
of
see
the
why it would be confusing.
some of the weapons that we have in the game currently that they'll be able to check out. So I really love this feature.
This is so sweet because every time you pick up a weapon, right, you take it off the weapon pad, it is your weapon, and it'll be skinned the way you want it to. It'll look the way you want it to. It is just a sweet feeling.
Let's quickly jump into vehicle bay. I mean, one quick caveat here is none of the experiences in this tech preview build will let you drive vehicles this time around. But of course, vehicles are an integral part of our sandbox, huge part of the experience, especially with the return of Big Team Battle.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to that a little bit later this year. But I'll just kind of give people a quick glimpse here of some of the updated models, some of these things we're seeing.
No weapons
for
on
the
the
first time,
ground anymore?
believe.
Yeah,
I mean, the
and
weapon
again,
pads
for
are there to make
what
it
we're
more
showing here
obvious
from a
that they're
customization
there for
perspective,
people.
You make this you. So you get to say, hey,
There's nothing
look,
inherently
when I drive my
great
Warthog
about
or
weapons
when I
being
get
on
on
the
my
ground.
Razorback with my team, I'm the driver. I get into it first. It's going to look the way
M290M Mongoose.
that I
Oh,
want
yeah,
it to
M
look
for the-
like. And so as you continue to play and you're in the community, you're going to have different looks from players, and everyone will know like it is you in the driver's seat.
All right, then I'm going to jump down one more real quick here in the body and AI. This one, we obviously have a couple different body types I can choose
Interesting.
from.
Looks like they
I
dropped
really,
the idea of
I really
gender.
love actually the depth
These
that we've been able to go
gendered,
to now
body
for
types.
prosthetics, right? Just
Yeah.
an additional layer of customization and, frankly, inclusivity as well.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the biggest thing is just about, from a philosophy perspective for
Can you turn
player
that?
first is we want everyone to be able to represent themselves. My sisters actually does build prosthetics for a living, and this is very important as it's a part of your identity. It's also, quite frankly, some of it's really cool. And again, we're only showing a very small subset, so don't get lost in that. But the sheer fact that you can do your entire body the way you want to from a prosthetic perspective and really make this your identity is really, really critical for us.
So personal AI is another new addition to the game.
Here we
introduced
go.
this, people heard some personal AI in the MP trailer, for example.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there that became
I
instant
love this
fans
new
of Lulu,
prosthesis. It
for
looks really
example.
cool.
And I think, we'll talk more about this probably with Tom French in a bit, and we'll see it in action in some of our additional footage. But, this is just a
Pyramid
subset,
Boy.
right?
Pyramid
So
Boy.
there's-
And it's also just the beginning. Like this is
Yeah,
the biggest
yeah,
thing. We
Fret.
have so many things in which you can really express yourself, the way you want to.
I love these
and
personal
even
AI,
your,
they're so
your
cool.
AI sidekick, it's yours to express. Like it's yours to make yours. And I think the cool thing is that when you see Tom talk about it, and you see the modes you're going to use it in, it really becomes a part of the personality that you bring to the field.
Yeah, and each AI here, for example, has their own unique voice, their own unique personality. It's really fun, and then you can go one step further if you want to, and actually,
Yeah.
a subset of colors as well. So,
Yeah.
personal AIs are one of my favorite additions to the game currently, and I can't wait for
rock
players to
that
experience
pink.
more of that. And then we have one more grayed out
On the
area here. This is
pyramid
where
AI,
I'd be
'cause
able
that's
to
my
do stuff
favorite.
like my service tag and emblem, and
Ah,
I think you've
okay.
alluded to. There's more coming
There's
than
more
what's in
coming.
this build, so we want
Yeah.
people
Announcer
to stay tuned.
voice.
Now I think, let's quickly, I want to keep things moving here because I know
Sure.
folks are eager. We got a lot to get through. How about you want to jump over to the Battle Pass?
Yeah, let's do that.
Maybe we'll switch, Josh. Why don't we jump over to Jerry? He'll drive us through, and let's just talk a little bit about, what we're designating the Season 0 Battle Pass, and sort of what that's going to be for players in this technical preview.
Yeah, so when we take a look at ourselves learning as a team, the reason why we want to do Season 0 is, like the rest of our live experience, our team needs to build the muscle of listening to the players, of providing fixes, really going through even veteran,
So remember, this battle pass that they're showing off
people
isn't
who've
final.
worked on game developers. When they go through a service, every game is different, every team is different, and it takes a lot of muscle building to really get into the rhythm for your teams to be able to add to the game. And so what we hope to hear from on the technical preview side is, again, what's
to show
working for you,
vehicle
what's
gameplay?
not working
Yeah.
for you, what don't you like. Remember, the build is old, so don't treat it as if it's final at all. So as we go into these details, just remember, just send us your feedback. Give us the details that you want to see or improve on. And we won't, again,
I would love to have a Jeff
because we're a few
Steitzer
months
AI.
from launch.
Yeah.
We won't necessarily be able to fix everything for launch, but we'll start adding lists
no.
together. First thing I want to talk about from a battle pass perspective is our challenges. Our challenge system is the cornerstone. It is the underlying thing in which we go. Now, everyone's familiar with these.
Yeah.
We've done a
Not
little
tolerating
bit
any
different.
of that
This is
crap.
where you start seeing
All
the
right.
first rewards that you get outside of the pass. So we know, right? Games are a bit different today than they were back in the day. In fact, back in the day, most people only had 2 to 3 games a year that they even looked at. Today, I bet you most of your Steam libraries are much larger than that. And that means players are going from Sea of Thieves, or they're jumping over to Age of Empires, and then they're coming into Halo as well. And we want to make sure that when you sit down, you don't have to absorb an entire battle pass to say, what are my rewards? You can literally just come in, what are the challenges? I'm going to go play my games with my friends, and I'm going to get rewarded for it. That's pretty critical for us from a player first perspective. And then, of course, you're going to get people like me. I'm going to sometimes get sniper challenges. Now, I'm not Clutch in any way, shape, or form, or Micwin or any other pro team. I will skip that challenge. So I'll definitely probably swap that for sure.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'll want to make sure that I don't have to do that because I'm not good at it at all. So let's look at the battle pass. So we're going to buy this? Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah, we granted you. You're just like a real tech preview
right, so
participant.
this-
We have given you some money, Jerry.
All right. Good. I get paid today. Sweet. All right. Sweet. Got the pass. We're ready to go. So, as you can see, I bought it, so now you can't see the free labels. Shoot. Oh well.
Yeah, well, you're right. What we're not seeing is a smattering of objects in this pass are free, right? So
Correct.
even if someone doesn't want to opt into the optional pass in the real game, there will still be a free track and things to earn along
Yeah.
the way.
The main thing you think of from a model that we have is every tier there's a free item and a premium item, and that means that every single player, instead of having most systems, you have large swaths of the tiers that aren't earned unless you're premium. For us, we want you to earn.
Oh,
every
there's that
step of the
Gundam
way.
one. Really?
And for the preview,
Oh, come on.
we're only having 20 levels in the preview to be able to go after.
I like
And
the
so,
texture I
obviously
like
at
to wear
launch,
back
we'll
in
have much
Destiny
larger.
1.
We're not going to talk about that too much, but the great thing you're seeing
XP
here is you're
boosts
seeing
are interesting.
customization all along the way. Do you want to go to yours?
Yeah, we
And
can.
we'll-
Yeah, Josh, you want to jump back over to mine because I had some development sheets enabled, so I've got everything already unlocked. Actually, Josh, switch back over to my feed there. There we go. So now that we have that context, Jerry, of
Yeah.
kind of sort of where this content's going to come from, I'm back in the armor hall. I've just kind of drilled now into this. This is what happens if I click in on my core, right? So.
Yeah.
We don't need to go through all this. I know folks are probably eager to see some more gameplay. We want to talk about bots and arena as well. But, this is where I would apply my coatings, for example. Some
Yep.
of these coatings I'm going to earn. We saw the Keystone coating as a challenge reward, for example. So this is just a taste of kind of what I'll be able to do. I can't wait to see how players in the tech preview, I would hope a lot of people are probably going to easily hit tier 20 and max out.
Yeah,
If not,
that's our hope.
what are you doing? You've had
visor
this long to
customization
prepare.
looks
Like,
really
come on,
good.
you've waited for this. We
Details.
need
You
to
even got like grime
go
on
crazy.
there. Holy crap.
But yes, this is just to give you an idea. As I unlock my content for the core, this is where I'm going to go in and be able to customize that.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this to you the other day, but funny fact, someone pointed out to me that if you want to, I think for the first time in a Halo game, you can have no shoulder pads. Which,
Correct.
hey, if that's your fancy, go for it. So lots of different options here, and
Yeah, and this is like you're not seeing things in here like armor effects or
Oh, armor
other
effects are coming
categories
back.
that we
Interesting.
have, listed here. For the tech preview, it's really small, and so we tried to keep it basically the baseline pieces. Actually, let's talk about armor kit for a little bit. That's a
what is
brand new
because
concept.
I don't think this is really
So
fully supported in this build though.
yeah, so when we talk about specifically from a pillar perspective of continuing the story, the armor kit kind of represents a bunch of that story. And so when you see the season, and when we say story, We mean the continuing story of the universe from after you, when you're in campaign as Master Chief. What are the rest of the Spartans doing? You are a Spartan, and so your story belongs here too. But it's also a place in which you can show iconic characters within the Halo universe. And so a kit, for example, you might get, I don't know, George or Emil, and that is an entire kit unto itself. And so you want to, like, you actually want to go fly the, you know, do your battles on the battlefield like George. That's where you would go to get that kit.
Well, Jerry,
Interesting.
this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
I think there's still a ton of
Armor
fun
kits almost
content
sound like
here
skins
for
in other
insiders
games.
this weekend to experiment with, unlock, explore. I do want to just reiterate as well, we've said this prior, but you know, this is just a test, so nothing that people buy or unlock during this will carry over to the final game. We're going to wipe the slate clean. And as Jerry noted, you know, just we're looking for your feedback. We'll have information on Waypoint, by the way, as well as in your flight invitation that lets you know where to go and how to give that feedback. And, you know, the team wanted me to also just give a shout out and let people know that a lot of polish work is still happening. So, you know, everything from how things look and are presented, we're not done yet. So, you know, I want to make sure we're giving credit to all the hard work that's still being done and will continue up until launch this holiday. Jerry, any final parting thoughts or words you want to leave to us before we jump over and bring Tom in?
No, I mean, enjoy your time. And, you know, as you said, Sketch, like, this is a few months old. And we have a long way to go from where we're
that
at
shit's not
actually
going to be
today
tolerated.
and what you're seeing. But please go test every button, like play everything, so that we can make sure that we have the tech ready
Panthers
for you
banned.
When we launch.
Awesome. Well, cool. Thanks again, Jerry.
Jesus
Happy to have
Christ!
you here.
Sorry, I missed
We're
all
going to take
that.
one more
That
quick
is
break. We're going to bring in Tom French.
That's
the
my
multiplayer
bad.
team.
I'm
We're
sorry,
gonna talk about
guys.
some bots. We're going to jump in, do a weapon drill or two, and talk about the Academy. And then we'll take a look at a match that we recorded on Xbox.
Shit like that is
Series
not
X. We'll be
tolerated
back in
here.
just a moment.
Do that, you're gone.
A new day is upon us. A new generation built to fight.
God damn it, 343. With this crap again. I like this trailer, but you're running it into the ground. Okay. Big takeaways. Sounds like we won't be able to have cross-core customization. You won't be able to take Mark 5B shoulders and helmets and put them on the Mark 7 body. That is incredibly disappointing. That had better damn change. You know, that might be, like, other than fixing actual bugs and games breaking crap, after Infinite launches, if it doesn't launch with that feature fixed, that better be a top priority as far as I'm concerned. Let's see. Catching up on Twitter right now while this is all going. But yeah. I mean, like here's a perfect example. You look at this and notice how they're only highlighting the chest, the accessories, the shoulders. Not even the helmet is customizable here, but it's all within the theme. So I'm thinking that we won't be able to do much there. That's... Ugh. Don't really know all as well. Wait, we don't really know as well. We only have the one core from the flight. Yeah, but I'm going based on how they were talking about it earlier. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just preparing myself for the worst. Sorry, brain fart there. I'm sure there will be crossover armors like the Mark 7 version of the 5 or whatever. There shouldn't need to be different versions, though, is my point.
Okay, welcome back again after
armor
that brief
cores to
break.
not mix art styles.
This is
If
still
so,
our
I think that's
Halo
really
Infinite
stupid.
Tech preview live stream here from Redmond, Washington. I'm
Not
Sketch.
your
And now
suggestion,
I wanna welcome Tom
Isaiah,
French.
but if that's their
Tom,
motivation, I
welcome,
think that's
Associate
stupid.
Creative Director
That's
for
not on you.
Multiplayer.
That's
How are you?
directing that towards
It's
343.
wonderful to be in this room again. I've
What?
missed being in this space, so it's good to kind of just hang out. I kind of want to give you a big hug.
I
right
know,
now.
right?
It's wonderful.
It's the closest. This whole process, I haven't come.
I got
this
to meet
close
Tom
to human
French
beings
years
in a long
ago, and
time.
he does
Absolutely.
not look like he's changed
Well,
at
it's
all.
good to have you here. I feel like this has been. I mean, this is has literally been years in the making, safe to say.
Yes, that is very safe to say.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about multiplayer, which is obviously sort of the key focus for the tech preview. So much like I've talked to Sam and Jerry about, thought we might just open up with kind of giving you a chance to, from your perspective and your team, how are you thinking about the tech preview? Kind of what are your goals? What would you like our
Prepare
audience to
for
know
Mohawk.
from your side of things?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jerry and Sam kind of hit a lot of it on the head. Really, the focus isn't about like kind of fair, balanced arena starts. It's really about a tech preview.
Looks
We
like a
need to
Limp
get lot of
Bizkit
data.
roadie.
There's a lot of PC data we need to do. Now that we're not like just, single console focus, there's a lot of information we need to really strengthen up our back end before we launch this game. To really just make sure everything's strong for the fans when we go live.
Yeah, and a lot of work obviously still happening. We've kind of covered that. Now, I think we've got a couple, I think safe to say we have sort of 2 signature content sort of buckets, features, if you will, of this tech preview, right? We've got an Academy experience, which I think we're going to talk about here first, and then we're going to move on to
Looking
bots
forward
from
to the
that.
Academy.
So let's start
Halo
by the
Waypoint is apparently
Academy.
having
We
some issues right
teased this
now.
a little bit. I think folks learned about it for the first time in our overview video last month. So from your perspective, what's the Academy all about? Where did it come from? What's
Almost
the idea behind
450
it?
concurrent viewers.
I'm really
Awesome.
proud of the Academy concept.
Thank you all for
Like,
being
when
here.
we started the journey to, what was going to become Halo Infinite, we needed
Tartarus
I don't know
Armor
if you know
Core.
this, but when you go to play multiplayer, it's intimidating to a lot of people. And so we needed to kind of create a ramp for how players get there and kind of smooth that out along the way. And so we thought about, like, what are the obstacles that players have to do? And so the Academy is broken into like 3 core parts and then kind of a 4th extension to that. But the first part is a tutorial where we teach you the fundamentals of the game. We'll introduce you to the kind of the canon around the MP Spartan and what is the player Spartan's purpose in the greater universe. And then the next step after that, we have weapon drills, which we'll get to play with and talk about today, which is cool. And those are really about kind of just giving you a chance to put your hands on a gun in very simple settings, really just kind of mono-focused, right? And just really focus on how that gun performs and learn. And there's different skill levels, which we'll get to see a little bit. And then the third part is the what we call the training mode, which lets you play arena matches, basically, or arena slayer inside of all of our arena maps. And lets you run around and you can configure the difficulty of the bots. You can configure your loadouts.
Will it just
you
be
can
Slayer, or will
configure-
they be able to do
I don't
other
know, there's
game
just a
types?
bunch
I
of
wonder.
tuning knobs to let you really kind of soften the experience. And then the next step I would say beyond that is once you kind of get comfortable in there is we have 4v bot matches. So we have 4 players. Halo's a team-centric game. And so we want players to learn how to play together kind of first and foremost. And you do that against bots before they
Metal
go
Gear
and
Armor
headshots
Core.
across the map.
Well, you mentioned weapon drills.
Did
which
you get an
is
invitation,
the
Halo
sort of
Canon?
the
Yes.
slice of the Academy
Yes, I
that
did.
we're including in the tech preview today. I think we should jump into a weapon drill or two. I'm sure our
Yeah.
viewers would love to check that out firsthand.
Yes, we would,
I mean,
please.
Tom, if you're willing, I maybe put you on the spot here. I mean,
You can see how much I suck
I can
with
embarrass
a bunch of
myself.
guns.
I mean, you know what?
Why
How
don't we
about-
trade off?
Why don't we each do it,
All
right?
right.
So I'm happy to go first, Josh. If you want to jump back over to my POV here. I've already kind of jumped into the Academy menu. I'm presented with an option for weapon drills. I did want to point out this is not the entirety of our sandbox,
No,
right? This
it's
is
what's in the flight,
It's a
basically.
slice, right? So I would expect more weapon drills. So, I think
Want to see the skewer or the?
I don't know what fans would be most interested in seeing. I'm going to guess they probably
they
don't
don't
need to
have
see
the
an AR
heat.
weapon
Maybe
drill,
show
right?
them-
So let's do something a little more
the other
exotic. Now,
rifle in here.
I might do this because this is
Okay.
one of my personal
do the heat
favorite new
wave.
additions to the game.
Sure.
This thing is a beast.
It is a beast.
EK
It
Commando.
sounds awesome.
Oh, that's
It
cool. You have
feels
different,
awesome. And real quick, Tom, how
difficulties.
would you want viewers to understand? Sort of, I got 3 options here
Yep.
for my weapon drill.
So there's 3 tiers of weapon drills, and the basic one is static bots, and they'll just stand there, kind of just let you get the hands on the gun, right? Shoot the basic targets, and we'll score you on your performance and kind of give you a grade so you understand how well you're using with that gun. The next tier, they're kind of on more just like kind of simple paths or crouching behind cover and things like that to kind of show you how to use the weapon, get you to move to that next tier of how do you track a target across the screen. And then the third tier is more, they actually are doing combat behaviors. They're not firing back at you, but they're running around and they're ducking and they're a lot less predictable. And so they're kind of harder to track. They're kind of using more of the actual bot behaviors and mentality. So
I guess I'll split the difference and go. I'll go like a tier 2 here,
Okay,
right?
okay.
I mean, don't judge.
let's see how you score.
Don't judge.
All right.
There's a
I'd
lot of
probably-
pressure
All right,
here. I
let's
mean,
see.
safe to say there's been a lot of internal trash talking as well, right?
Yeah, we trash talk a lot, especially about scores. Like
12
I mean,
V12
we're a
V12 will be in the
competitive
flight,
team
right?
at our
Not that
core,
they've
so that's what
said.
you have to do.
They said arena
Speaking
bots.
of too, I think
so
there is a
it
cool.
should just be
not only is this a
4v4.
learning module,
Half those being
in a
bots.
lot of ways, but there is a competitive angle to it, and I think safe to say down the road the team's thinking about possibility of things like leaderboards and kind of how do we really bring that gamification competitive element to this?
Yeah, that was something that we really wanted in the core design, and just it just didn't fit into the schedule. So we're just building this kind of as a platform for how we
Okay.
can add more over time.
Okay, here we go. Not doing good. By the way, that's something our fans noticed right there. We have damage per sort of location-specific visual indicators on damage, right?
I love
Yeah, it's
that.
actually- it's
That's really
helpful, right?
cool.
It really helps just that pop where you're hitting.
Look at
the
that.
target.
I choked right there. Now, are you a feather the trigger person with this weapon, or do you just sort of pray?
It's
and
really
spray?
funny how
I'll
they're
just be
spawning
honest, I'm
gold
not
and
proud
their
of
shields are
this gun.
red.
That's first and foremost my problem. I'm trying to get better with it. I kind of use it as like an automatic, but when I'm kind of at range, I'll switch to kind of the feathering.
Oh, no.
Oh man, that killer.
Yeah, there you go, Sketch.
That was not a great
It wasn't
performance.
terrible.
2-star.
It
I mean,
wasn't terrible.
I think there is a bonus for like a quick reaction, right? Like if I were to quickly zoom in on the target right when it appears, I think I might get an extra.
I
bit
think
of
there's
points for
extra
that,
little
right?
bonus points and little twists around it. So
All right, I want to put you on the spot now. We're
Okay.
going to switch over to your point of view. So
Okay.
So first of all, okay,
right.
going for the
Should
controller,
go.
right? Because we
Should probably pick
support
that up.
mouse and keyboard or controller, doesn't
I'm
matter.
a controller guy.
Whatever suits your fancy. Tom, I am hearing from our friends over here in the room that it sounds like chat is, unsurprisingly, very interested in seeing the BR.
I think that's expected.
You
Let's bring up
basic
the BR then.
bitches.
Let's see how. I mean, I'm okay with
I do
this
like
game.
where you're going with the more exotic weapons, though. So maybe we
Come
just
on.
kind of break the rules and squeeze in a third game.
We'll squeeze in another.
Yeah,
one.
squeeze in another
I'll-
one.
I'll try to go the third tier so people can see
The
kind of
precision
different
weapon
behaviors. And so you see
obsession
kind of more
in the
bouncing
fan base
targets and what
annoys
you're
me
doing.
sometimes.
So you'll
A
see
lot of
this,
the
they should
time.
take a little more cover and stuff. But yeah, obviously a fan
Like,
favorite weapon.
let's show something
Um,
off that they haven't seen before,
I'm
like
really
the
nervous how well
show the
it's gonna
skewer or show, I don't know.
Let's see.
I really want to see the
Well,
skewer.
at least we're picking different weapons.
Oh,
we're
I
not
picked the
really,
plasma
like,
pistol
can't
just
really
'cause it'll
compare
be
each other
different.
against each other, right? So
I know what a BR does.
Yeah, people are already making fun of me in the stream. I can see it, or imagine at least. I'm really terrible about managing my reloads. I'm like an incessant reloader.
Yep.
See there, I probably shouldn't have reloaded right there.
BR is Halo. I mean, I don't really
it's
care.
not- when we're missing shots like you and I do, it makes it a little hard to
I'm
keep
a weird
predictable
Halo
on
fan,
that
I
though.
know.
regard,
I
right?
really feel like it's part of.
I don't
my
care
job to
about
get
something
better at
looking
this, and I'm
iconic.
trying, and I am getting better. I'm a little more better at like BTB is kind of my.
Oh,
brand.
that's just to be clear. That wasn't a dig at
Yeah,
anyone
see, they're kind of
specific.
dancing around a little bit.
Because
They're
I know that
strafing more, they're not just
how
bounce
synonymous
patterns.
iconic is with Hidden Xperia. That's not towards him specifically.
Hitting headshots.
Just in case anyone thought that.
You almost got this. Crap reload. Time's up. I think that's a pretty good score. Well, it's a new high score compared to whoever else played on this build.
I think nobody. So all right,
yeah.
so I hit tier 2, so rank 2. So yeah, so you can see like we're trying to kind of give you some grading so you can understand your skill level and like how you can get better, or a little bit like kind of encouraging you to get better, so you can understand where you're meeting.
All right, I think.
Plasma
I think
pistol,
we're
so you can hear the
getting
new
a request
overcharge
that maybe
noise.
like At
Yes.
least one more.
Come on,
you
Heat
wanna play one
Wave.
more since you're already in? Why don't you do
I
it?
mean,
I'll put you on the
okay,
spot.
I'll do it.
So
Or the Bulldog.
I'm hearing that there's a lot of interest in the
Wave.
heat wave. This
All
is,
right.
Yes,
I
yes,
don't think
yes.
we've really seen or shown this really today.
Sketch
So
could
it's
hear me
obviously
through
new
the
and
through the
exciting.
screens.
A little bit unconventional, right? A little bit different.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, it has an alt fire, which is cool. It's something that's kind of new to Halo. I know Quinn and his team was really proud of that. And kind of how do we introducing this kind of concept?
Halo
into
Cannon
the
doesn't
game
love the
and how
BR.
can
He's not a
use
true
this
Halo
more in
fan.
the
Burn him
game.
to a post.
This weapon's really
Burn
fun.
him
and
to a
the
post.
two alt modes, or the two modes are basically vertical
Yes.
and horizontal fire.
Can't
remember
called
how
it
this drill
alt fire.
performs, so.
I mean, not that it
So,
wasn't
see,
obvious.
One of the things cool about the drills is a lot of they're trying to do behaviors that actually encourage you to use the
Interesting
weapon
reload.
correctly. So like these two were bouncing near each other, and so you can get a more optimal like kind of horizontal shot.
Yeah, and I know folks notice it's pretty
Just
nuanced
venting.
there, but I think you're using your left trigger to sort of swap between those two different
Yeah, the two
firing
modes,
right?
Okay.
Yep.
All right, get together, boys. Thank
Oh,
you.
and this will penetrate,
oh.
right? So you
Yeah,
can line
it
guys up
over
and just take them all.
penetrates. Oh,
Very
the
cool.
Last shot sucked. There we go. Oh. I'm
It's-
definitely not managing my reload. I feel like I have more time in the game, right? Like when you're in a match, you like hide behind cover. But this is definitely that like kind of stressful, which is in a good way. Like it helps you get better by going through the repetitions and the drills.
Well, the world watching doesn't probably help
Yeah, it
either.
doesn't help. I think I'm more
Classian
nervous
from
about
Orbit
you
for his
just giving me shit
heresy.
after. Oops.
I think you mean
That's all right. We
Exterminatus.
ran the ESRB up front.
thank
We're
you.
good.
Oh, that's
We're good.
good.
We said it
can't help
just
it, I
here
know.
Content may
joining
not be suitable for all
chaos.
audiences. Look at you, man.
Ooh,
You're sandbagging
smash
us.
it.
3-star. You're a master. So
Maybe
that's
we
the
haven't
heat
tuned
wave.
those scores yet, so maybe
We're not going to
it's
go
okay.
through every weapon drill, but when the tech
So,
build
a
goes
scatter
out
shot.
tomorrow,
Yeah, it kinda does seem like a
the
scatter shot,
Weapon drills will
though.
be available right away, so
Less,
you folks
Yep.
that are in the flight can play
less
to their heart's
controlled
content all weekend
in terms
long.
of
I encourage
the
you to do that, and
the
I want to see
ricochet.
people kind of
I don't know.
See if you can beat Tom's score. There you go. Let's throw the gauntlet out.
Yeah,
See-
please. I mean, please beat my score. If you don't, I'll be disappointed.
So, Tom, obviously, we talk a little bit about bots as it relates to the Academy experience that we just saw here, but bots is kind of the other signature experience as part of the tech preview. So, before we get into the specifics, bots are brand new to Halo. Like, what do you want the world to know?
I feel like the Heat
about
Wave is a
bots?
human
What's cool about them?
interpretation
Why
and
are you
retooling
excited
of
about
Forerunner Promethean tech.
I'm really excited about bots because, again, like,
Could be.
playing multiplayer in Halo is a scary thing, and so it gives players like we have this kind of notion of safe and being able to play safe and offline in the training mode and things like that. And so having bots to really reflect kind of player behaviors is a big goal of ours. And so actually our bots don't cheat. I'm really proud of the work our bots team has done. They really are emulating player behaviors. They're doing things like watching the motion tracker. They're listening for footsteps. They'll like pre-nade an area as you get into the better bots and things like that. So they actually are kind of reflecting player behaviors back into the game for you to even, if you're a learning player, you can kind of, oh, it did that. That's something I can learn as a tool. But again, really just giving players safe place to experiment and learn and warm up. Like we found out, the community was like, when we first started talking about, they're like, oh, I can warm up before a match and stuff like that. And
Bots
that
don't
was
belong in Halo
absolutely part of the intent, and
multiplayer?
we do it actually internally. Watching our
I got to
trophies do it
disagree
as
with
well,
that.
so.
I mean, unless
Yeah,
you're talking
they are-
about
they're no
people
slouches
making
either,
bots
I
to
can-
make
I can
themselves.
say. I mean, let's talk about that for a
put
minute.
games in
We've
their
mentioned
favor.
this a little bit in our blog last week, but my understanding is we want to kind of ease people into the experience this weekend, so they'll be able to jump online. And I think it's our second lowest skill level
shut up.
bots to start with, right?
Yeah, we have in the game we'll have 4 different tiers of bots. There's recruit, and then there's
Bots will
Marine,
help to
there's ODST,
practice,
Spartan.
exactly.
And like we're gonna start with the Marine level, which is basically kind of like a silver level player, and then we have the ODST, which are more like a gold, and then
You think we are free
Spartan
to
is-
script
yeah,
bots?
yeah,
Probably
yeah.
not.
I'm losing my words right
Though
now.
I wouldn't be
But
surprised
they are
if people
obviously
take
higher
advantage of that to
difficulty
do
level.
something,
But we're trying
like
to
making
really
custom
just-
missions, yeah.
They're the plat level player. Duh. I don't know why I'm thinking that. But yeah, so we're trying to just really kind of ramp it up. We want to let players play against the different spots so we can see the different kind
Firefight
of
Warzone
how
has
players
bots.
perform against them. We know they're not. They're not.
Firefight
gonna, like,
has- or
they're not
Warzone
shock
in general
you.
has
They're not gonna
bots.
like just dong on you like immediately. Even when we get to our highest level, they really are a warm up and a learning tool inside of the game.
Yeah, and I think my understanding is too that we want to get focused
Bots will be
testing
great,
and data
especially if
and
quitters
sort of
run
feedback
rampant,
on each of
as
those
they always do,
buttons,
yeah.
sort of bot. You just mentioned the bot sort of skill levels. So if, for example, we get enough engagement and
Have
the
they mentioned
collective
anything about
community
Forge?
slays enough
No.
bots after we go live on Thursday, my understanding is, okay, cool, you
Will
guys
bots
have
look
passed
like
phase
ODSTs?
1 now,
Seemingly
right?
they just look like
then
default
we're going to kick
Spartans.
off and escalate and sort of raise the difficulty up and introduce the ODST bots. So our hope and expectation is that everyone out there is playing so much, we're getting all the data that we need, and we're just going to keep ratcheting it up with the goal of, let's hope by Sunday we've got Spartan bots out there, and we'll really see how some players can stack up to that. And I believe we're also going to kind of gradually introduce maps in a similar fashion. So the big message there, I think, for tech preview participants is we need you to play a lot and come back every day, because we're going to try to keep that experience evolving and keep it fresh. I also wanted to shout out that we're going to be keeping an eye on our stats on the back end and looking to do a little celebratory shout outs on the Halo Twitter account. So each day we're going to be looking for which player has slayed the most bots, who's won the most games, and also I think kind of interesting, which team has been able to get 50
Everybody's
slays
obsessed
and
with
win their
Sketch's
game
hair.
against bots the fastest. And what's really cool and a twist here, we're going to track all that. We'll shout you out on our social channels. But when this game launches this holiday, we're going to capture your gamer tags now and be able to you'll be the first ever recipients of one of our sort of exclusive emblems, nameplates rather, for the Fire Unicorn, which has been sort of something that we've had throughout Halo 5, a little bit in MCC as well. So pretty cool. We're able to kind of start that muscle now a little bit.
Yeah.
So bragging rights, high stakes,
Okay.
slay a lot of bots, play a lot, but don't slouch, because these bots mean business, especially by the time we get to Sunday.
Do you know if Infinite will have
So Tom,
flood?
the last
We
thing
do
I kind
not.
of
I
want to
doubt
switch
it will,
into as
though.
well, speaking of evolving the experience, we're thinking about possibly turning on some Classic Slayer Arena, I believe, as well at the end of the weekend, correct?
Yeah, so I mean, I think the intent is we're going to start with live fire with the map, which is one of our arena maps, and then we'll go into recharge, or we'll add recharge, and then we'll add Bazaar, which is set in Mombasa. Actually, I really want people, especially our fans, to really look around that map. There's some kind of nerdy lore things in there that are super cool. But yeah, then at the end, the intent is at the very end we can unlock basically a chance to play some 4v4. There's a bug in there right now where sometimes you won't match at 4v4. You can get a 3v4 match. We should backfill somebody into that match, hopefully, generally within a minute or so. It depends on obviously matchmaking and population times at that point. But yeah, so it should balance out. Again, it's not going to give you that full fair, like core competitive Halo start, but it will give players at least a first chance at like hands on stick to kind of put sights on another player.
For sure, and I just kind of wanted to reemphasize, like our number one priority is the bot experience,
Yes.
and it's getting all the data that involves. Because I don't think we mentioned this, but even just from the dedicated server's perspective, a bot match kind of taxes the servers and uses resources differently than a traditional PvP match, right? So it is important to us that we load test that.
Yeah, the bots are actually, they're running on the servers, and so they're actually putting weight on the servers. And then it literally, because it's 4v4, 4 players versus 4 bots, you're going to spin up twice as many servers, and so kind of testing scale and stuff like that at that time as well.
As long as we hit these gates and sort of checkpoints over the course of each day, we could have quite a bit of fun here at the end of Sunday night. But I did want to reiterate what Tom pointed out. We are aware the experience does have some rough edges, but as long as you're willing to sort of put up with that, we'd love to jump in and be able to have that fun with you as well. So, Tom, I think the last thing that we're going to jump into here in a minute is we have one more gameplay footage. We have a full match we recorded. Before we do that, though, I have a couple other things I think I just want to rattle off. One, split screen comes up a lot. It's a big part of the Halo multiplayer experience. I did just want to call out that is not supported in the tech preview. It is still something that is important to multiplayer for launch, obviously, but in the tech preview, it's will not be supported. So I think honestly, I believe you could split screen in with your buddy on your couch, but then you can't load into the playlist together. So I just wanted to call that out in case folks get stuck in that situation.
As long as it's going to be there in the final in the game at launch, that's what matters.
I could ask you. Folks started asking
do a
this
lore
question
video on
as
the
we
armor
showed
we
off
get in
some
this
of our
fight.
MP content
We'll
last
see.
month, and they're obviously going to sort of get.
I haven't quite
experience
decided
firsthand
everything I'm going to do with
tomorrow,
that.
and that's about Assassinations. We
Oh.
saw a couple moments in the trailer where we saw some clutch back smacks that probably would have been an assassination. Folks have asked us, are they in? Are they out? What's going on with Assassinations? So what's
They're out,
the
aren't
scoop
they?
there?
So they're not in for launch, and I think we're just going to be straight about that, right? Like, we actually
I'm glad
really
they're being
love
straightforward,
Assassinations, and I remember being at an HCS
That sucks.
tournament with Quinn Del Hoyo, our sandbox lead, right when I took my gig, and we were watching a match, and somebody went to backsmack somebody, and they had Assassinations enabled on accident because they turned them off, right? And they got this amazing assassination. It was a super hype moment in the crowd. But what happens at a lot of levels is people just turn them off because there's a gameplay disadvantage of it. And so one of the things we really wanted to do is take a step back and how do we think about how do these fit into infinite gameplay loops? And so one of the things that Quinn and I keep talking about is like when we bring them back, we want them to be back and fit right into our sandbox and the loops of the game and bring them back in a way that really just feels meaningful. So they're always an accessible tool, but also kind of a flourish moment that people have.
Yeah, so
Okay, that's
we
fair.
talk about this a lot. Launch is
That's
only the
fair.
beginning. Jerry alluded to kind of what it means to be a live service and those opportunities that it brings.
I'll be
This is a
very
perfect
interested
example
because
of something
Kevin
that
had some
I know
really
is
cool
already on
ideas
the
about how
team's
they could
radar,
bring
and
back
I can't wait to. It's something to look
Assassinations
forward
with a
to, and
lot
I can't
of
wait to
cool
see
twists.
How bots evolve and eventually, Assassinations
Well,
evolve.
bots will evolve.
Bots will evolve too, right? No, you're right. Getting assassinated by
They didn't get rid of
by a recruit
Assassinations
bot would
just
be
because
I think
top
you
tier
have to-
players turned
you
them
have
off.
to resign at
They
that
got rid
point,
of them
is
because
that
they
right?
wanted to
We delete your
re-examine
profile
them.
at that point.
So I think
and their
one more
their
thing we're
place
going to
in
show
the
today.
not just
I
their
know
place,
people
it
have
sounded
still been
like, but like
clamoring
they
for
just
we just want to see a
re-examine
full
them
match.
from
Just show us a match end to end. So we have that here
from,
today.
like,
We're gonna
nothing,
do
I
that
guess.
right now.
I don't know.
Just to kind of tee
Like,
this
they're taking
up.
a
I believe
fresh
this was
look at them.
recorded last week or so. This is Xbox Series X gameplay, just directly out of
Okay.
the console. These are not bots in play. This is a 4v4 Slayer on live fire.
Yep.
I think a few members of our pro team mixed in with a couple members of the studio at large. Kind of to your point, right now for
Those
this
poor
focus,
studio
this
folk.
is not. We're not trying to sort of telegraph. This is the competitive side of our game.
Exactly.
So this is about social.
Hopefully it'll
it's
be in
about
soon
fun,
after
it's
launch.
about learning
Hopefully.
and kind of evolving. So no one should read too much into that, right?
Yeah, this is not your BR starts really curated level. This is kind of more what we call internally like our pub experience or our non-ranked experience, and so this is more of the quick play option that people will be seeing.
Well, let's roll that, Josh, if you got it ready. And, Tom, if you want to we can kind of provide some commentary
Assassinations should
along
be
the
in
way. We're not going
campaign,
to try
though.
to cast
That's
this
a
or
good
anything. I'm
point.
sure folks are
That's
just
a
eager to
fair
soak
point.
it in.
I
But
get Bravo to yell at me later if I do
it's
that.
about 7 to 8 minutes, I think, end to end. But this is
Okay.
a full match of 4v4 Slayer, Halo Infinite, in our tech preview, essentially a version of this build on Livefire. So, Josh, go ahead and roll that.
Why
when
won't they
you're
show
ready.
Big Team Battle? Because they're not testing BTB right now.
All right, yeah, I think this is a pro team POV.
Well, let's see how good they are.
Heat Wave.
right off the bat, going for
So
the
he's
heat
got the
wave.
heat wave, right?
Yep.
So he switched to vert.
Yeah, that's definitely got to be pro team.
There's a
Steitzer.
Stites. It's good to
picked
have
up drop
Steitzer back,
wall.
or we call it. There's some nickname of Stitesy is kind of the people implementing the VO.
I do not like the
threw down a shield
visualization.
covered
I
with
hope
I like
they
that
can
little
change it
peek
before
technique.
launch.
I haven't personally done that, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like I learned a lot by watching this pro team video actually and how to play it. Like we watch them, we have regular weekly play tests with them. I don't play with them generally because they're so good, and we put our kind of better players up against them.
Also noticed that player went straight for the power weapon that spawns on this map in Slayer, which is hard for me to use, if I'm being honest.
So you'll see, so you can see the friend foe. That's one of the obvious things you're looking at here. And
Wow,
that
that super
It's something
combine
that
was
we've
really
continued to kind of iterate
underwhelming.
and evolve even beyond this build. I think
It's like
this might be
no,
our main build.
barely any audio, and it was visually, he was gone in a
Power
like a
weapon spawns
flash.
there.
I definitely hope we can change
Skewer
that.
is it's satisfying as heck, but it's hard for me to use.
I am worse at that gun than I am at the commando rifle for sure. When you
Benefit of,
hit a
of
target, especially a
Assassinations is the
vehicle,
cool
it's
looking
super
animation.
satisfying.
Yeah.
Alright, so he was spectating.
Imagine bots teabagging. I would be shocked if they didn't, because you might not. If people don't remember, the hologram AA, at least in Reach, I think in 4 as well, would actually
Tried for it.
teabag. So I wouldn't be surprised if bots do it.
Hard for us to hear in studio, but I believe you'll hear some personal AI coming through.
Yeah, you're hearing. There's a few things. So there's the Spartan Chatter that we had in Halo 5. It really just kind of brings the battlefield, gives a lot more like reaction feedback to what's going on in the game.
Look at
So
how
you'll
quickly
hear
you could
this
clamber and
personal
get
AI,
right
what we
into
did with
shooting.
them
That's
is
great.
We replaced what was called Spartan Leader or Team Leader. And it's just a more personal.
Or does
version of that,
teabag,
and
I
they have a
remember
lot of
that. Okay, good.
personality, and so it lets you kind of swap around and kind of customize that feedback. And they give you a lot of low-level fit. Pulled the power up.
Yeah, I was just going to mention.
Ragdoll looks
that's a
good, yeah.
a change,
there's the
right? It doesn't
invis.
activate on pickup anymore. You can hold on to it.
I am a big fan of that
Yeah,
personally.
we
that
think that'll bring a
overshield
lot
and invis are
in the
kind
long
of
term, and
brought
allow us
into
to
the
do more
equipment.
things with power-ups than kind of just traditional kind of just quick stat kind of reflections, but having like really
I like the
the notion
sidekick.
of power equipment in the game.
It feels like a nice
One thing that you won't
halfway
see from-
point between the Halo
in this
CE
point of view,
pistol and the
I
Halo
really
2
love
pistol.
the visual language that you and the team have introduced. It's very obvious when someone's pocketing a power up like that. You'll see a glowing.
You get that
trail
high
behind
rate
it.
of fire,
Contrail
but high
behind them.
precision
Yeah, that was a big
too.
thing, is making sure we at least telegraph that information. That was, making that switch. There was a lot of critical lenses on making sure that there was at least a readability.
drop
to it in the
walls.
gameplay.
I mean, so now it's sort of that risk reward, right? Do I hold this and wait for that final push? Do I burn it now so I don't lose it?
Yeah,
come
you
on,
make a
come
lot
on.
of choices that way. Like
There we
I,
go.
I sometimes will pocket it and think I'm getting cocky, and then I'll lose it, and I'll give
Ooh,
like, overshot
look at that
over the-
thing.
I'll give the.
It's like a
OS
heavy
to the
sniper.
enemy, which is super risky at that point.
We're seeing a couple of little.
Definitely
sort of
better than the Halo
what
2
do you
pistol.
call
Yeah,
them,
that's why I said
tutorial
like a
tips popping
halfway
up there?
point. So you get a
Yeah,
bit of
you can turn off
power,
in
but
the
it's
Yeah,
settings,
not
you can
right?
turn them off, but on they're death
overpowered
tips is
either.
what we call them. But yeah, giving you a little bit of feedback, about the type of weapon.
You get
that
a pretty
kills you, or,
solid
like, how you
rate
can
of fire,
respond
too.
Better to it.
There's the VR.
I'm not sure at this point the pro team needs to know that, like, hey,
Oh, Mark. What the hell?
Yeah, exactly. Or, like just opt out if you
It's a
don't
pretty
really
well
care
balanced
about it, if you
match.
don't need that information,
This is
or
what I
it makes
want
you
out of
feel
Halo
bad.
in real life.
People might feel.
Balance. No
I
medals
love this
rip.
map.
No,
Yeah,
there
the
have been
Pelicans
medals. They're
fly
just
by,
like
it's the-
they're
it's
small.
an
They're
homage to
appearing along the
Sergeant
bottom
Johnson,
here.
Sergeant Avery Johnson, Academy of.
Or there they are. Sorry, there it is. But they're
So it's
they're
kinda
very
cool
small.
Just to kind of pay homage to one of ours and everybody's favorite character in the side of the Halo canon.
By the way, whoever this player is just getting active camo every spawn. I don't know what the other team's up to right now.
Seems to be watching that call out. Yeah, the power ups we treat those like the power weapons and stuff. They're up on a pad. They have a lot of messaging and broadcasting about them, so you know when they're coming up.
Now your Spartan AI will tell you that, right?
Yeah, the Spartan AI calls it out as well. So there's a lot of information just kind of driving feedback. You get the stick there. You can see like
Looks like
there's
ADS will
weapon
be on
pack
all the
racks.
guns.
You'll see
Yeah, we
them
kinda
as
got that,
well.
figured that, though.
One second.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
What
it's
matters
in the
is how it
background.
Yeah,
functions.
What's cool about them is before you might run past where a weapon would spawn and then not realize that it's coming up in 2 seconds, and it could change your choice and how you deal with it. Like when we playtest this morning, I actually stopped at one point on a weapon rack because I was like, oh, it's like 2 seconds out. I might as well wait for it and switch out my pistol, which I think I'm just telling everybody that I'm really bad.
Yeah,
with
it's
power guns.
Zoom with an AR. That was apparent in the multiplayer preview they did back during E3. God, that was so long ago. And yet it feels so recent. Oh, no!
That was nice.
Okay. Oh, I'll get this one guy. Oh, wait, he's got it a second.
I
This
do
guy
love
actually
the
knows what
side
he's
view.
doing, so...
It's really cool, and like when somebody's really good with
Ooh,
it,
that
it's
needle
really
reload,
threatening
I
because
like
they
it.
can just feather that thing super fast and just crack
This
people.
this player really likes this little like drop wall kind of
covering a
technique,
post,
huh?
yeah.
And there's the heat wave.
Like kind of locking down an entryway so they can watch their backs. It's neat to watch how people use these. Like,
Is
all
the flight on
different
PC
equipment
as
in
well?
different ways.
Yes. It's going to be across all
Hopefully, a
platforms.
lot of players this weekend.
It's
are gonna
only
be,
on Steam, I think
lighting
they
this
said
up on
earlier,
social,
for
sharing clips
this
with us,
first
'cause
flight,
I
but
can't wait to see just
it
some
is
of
on
the
PC.
creative ways that the community at large figures out how to use this new sandbox.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. Like, I mean, like the way we have
Whoa.
our maps tuned, like in our
Glad to
main
see the
builds,
perverts
is they
coming
have
back.
different equipment and stuff on them, and because we don't have the entire sandbox in the flights, as we swap things out, so it's actually not even the same kind of basically map placement path that we would have in the released version of the game. But it just at least gives us something.
They must
so
be
we
playing
can
against
get
IGN
something new for
reporters.
people to play with.
I mean, Red Team, or I should say Snakes
Actually,
went
getting close.
from,
You can hear the music
was
starting
it
to
32
kick
to
up, kinda
40,
signifying
well,
the end of the match.
it took
Coming.
it took
love that. The
Eagles to
multiplayer
go-
music, very cool.
I'm really
in that same
proud
time
of the
frame, Eagles went
multiplayer
45 to
music. There's
47.
A cool story about how we got to basically getting the music in the game, but it really meets this tone. It's something I've really wanted since Halo 4. Was this kind of post-rock soundtrack to the multiplayer? Well, actually just a Halo, but it became one of my goals for multiplayer. Last kill.
And the question is, will we see that last kill? Oh, right, the new spike grenades.
Cool.
Such grenade, much spam. Whoa, where did he go?
Halo's got some drama.
I swear
Oh,
that in
there
my
we
sights
go.
sounded
Got it.
like
There we
Thor.
Cool.
Yeah, that was actually me playing.
Oh, was you?
My-
Nicely
yeah,
done.
Since we won.
Nicely done. I'm proud.
Thanks for a great
Hey,
stream.
so
Thanks.
I'm, happy
I'm
that
glad
we
you
were able to
enjoyed
show
it,
that
Em.
today. Not only kind of our first time showing the game on Xbox Series X, but we know the community's just show us a full match end to end. So happy we were
There
able
we
to do
go.
that. You'll be able to see a lot more of that, obviously firsthand this weekend. And I think safe to say, once we get a little further down and we're ready to talk more about the competitive side and some of the ranked settings, we know people are probably eager to see. I would love to see a true 4v4 pro team match. So
that'd be brutal.
we'll bring that later. Tom, any kind of final words or parting thoughts you'd like to share before we wrap this up today?
I mean, mainly I'm just really excited to finally get to put this game in people's hands. And even though it's just
Hells
a tech
yeah.
preview, you get to at least touch the game. You get to run around. You get to experiment with the sandbox. You get to help us, be part of our team in a way. And then, just help us kind of keep building towards the next flights as we get to launch.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. We're super excited. I'll be playing all weekend as well. We'll be online playing, watching. Just wanted to go through a couple quick things right after this broadcast is over. If you want to head to HaloWaypoint.com, we have an updated blog that'll go out that'll kind of recap the official play times that we recommend for the flight experience for people who are involved. You can take a close look at some of our known issues and just kind of get a better
If I can
sense
get
of
it, because
what you
I
can
can't
expect this
really load
weekend.
Waypoint
Also,
right
just
now.
wanted to mention that we're also going to be flighting our next version of Halo Waypoint. So on app and web.
Might have been Travis
we call it
Willingham.
Waypoint V Next here internally. That actually will be included in this tech preview. Really cool work happening there to help really extend my in-game experience out beyond the game to web and app. You can sort of experiment with your customization, challenges. That functionality will be working during the flight. Encourage folks to check that out as well. And as a reminder, if you want to be a part of this and an opportunity to play future tech previews and flights of this nature, head to HaloInsider.com. Sign up. Please make sure your profile is complete. That includes, we need you to verify your email, and we need you to make sure you pick which platform you want to flight on, one or both. And if it's PC, we also need you to upload a DX to AG file. All the information you need and all the steps are clearly outlined. Just go to HaloInsider.com. Because next time we're going to go bigger. We need even more people. We got to go larger scale because we still have a couple steps to go between now.
Yeah,
and
the
launch
flight
this
is not
holiday.
today.
And lastly, just want
I
to
think
say
Travis
thank
has
you to
been in
everyone.
Halo before.
Clearly
Yeah,
the
he was
community,
Julam Dama
we really
and Fred
appreciate your
104.
feedback, your passion
And
through the years.
Spartan DeMarco.
We know you've been eagerly awaiting this.
Now you know why
development
both of them
as we
got
have.
killed off.
The Insider Group in particular, huge part of our MCC project to bring that game, update it, improve it, bring it over to PC. That wouldn't have happened without the Halo Insider feedback and flighting program. And we can't wait to bring that same passion and that same just devotion and desire to make the best game possible to Infinite. So I want to thank you in advance for your time this weekend, being a part of this tech preview. And that's all we got. So share us your clips online. Head
Halo
to Halo
Destiny
Waypoint for more
crossover.
information.
That'd be cool.
And we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.
Aww. Though, there's something even more special about that just because the fact that you can now. Ugh. Okay, no more of that. I wanted to go over this article, but I cannot get Halo Waypoint to load. I don't know if they're in the process of updating it or what, but ugh. Let's see if I can get it on my phone at least. Maybe it's a local thing, but said if the goals are met before the end of this flight, we can get a classic 4v4 Slayer. Yep. So they'll turn that on Sunday. Servers down. Oh, that's not the wrong, or that's the wrong Halo thing. And yeah, my phone isn't accessing it either. So yeah, apparently Halo Waypoint is down. So yeah. Definitely be streaming the flight tomorrow right for. Oh, hey, Great Scott. Oh, hey, look at that. Finally loaded. Let's see if we can get to the news. Now, straight into the news. I myself will definitely be streaming some Infinite tomorrow. I don't know exactly all the details yet, but as soon as I do, I'll make an announcement. Too many people joining in, probably. Where are Assassinations? Assassinations, they confirmed, are not going to be here. Are not going to be part of Infinite at launch. They're re-examining that. Oh, come on. It's loading fine for me if you run a VPN through the UK endpoint. Seems to have less traffic. Yeah, maybe. Minimize all this stuff. Well, actually, I don't want to run a VPN right now because that'll end the stream, and I don't want to do that yet. Any vehicle and map you would like to see in Halo Infinite? Not midship. Controversial opinions. Now, I'd love to see Last Resort Zanzibar again. I really love that map, though it's been remade twice now, so I'd put that low on the priority list. Headlong, I wouldn't mind seeing that again. As far as vehicles, I'm not entirely sure. I'd love to finally get a Grizzly in game, but I don't know. How about the hold on, let me see if I can find it. The bike. The UNSC bike. This would be fun. Oni Reap X, because I know it's one of those technologies. I don't remember what it's actually called, though. What the fuck was that? Oh, okay. I thought I read something else. Grunt Goblin. I mean, that yeah, I'd be good with having that back. Okay, let's see if I can actually find this thing though. If Halopedia, oh, there we goes. Good. Takes a little bit. Reap X Siege Bike. Here we go. So it's only appeared so far as a Mega Construct set. But I would love to see it added to the game, particularly the actual set version where it's got like a Una thing, Una wheel, whatever these are, Una tread, single tread rather than dual treads like in this concept art. But yeah, I think that'd be a really cool vehicle to add, or the Locust, man, that'd be awesome. Sandtrap, I'd love to see that back. Sandtrap would be awesome, especially if you like. That was one of the coolest things about Sandtrap, were the not the mammoths, the elephants. Oh, is it finally working? Here we go. Once it loads again, damn it. I'd actually be curious to go all the way back to the last page of news and see what that is. Yeah, Halo Waypoint is starting to load, so I'm hoping, because I want to go through this and see if there's anything new, like such as this concept art, which I'm guessing was also from. Well, I was gonna say Bazaar, but I don't know. Maybe it's Bazaar, maybe it's not. In the meantime, what do we got going on? Hopefully we'll at least get to see Flood or Prometheans in a firefight mode. That'll be good enough. Wouldn't be good enough for me, but that'd be cool nonetheless. Please do. I'll have to read less. I'd love them to... Oh, excuse me. I'd love them to bring back Blood Gulch. I am fine with that staying in the past. I hate Blood Gulch. It's just a vast open area with barely any cover. Valhalla, that's an improvement in my book. But that's just my opinion. Sidewinder. I personally prefer Avalanche, but Sidewinder and Avalanche are really damn good maps. Oh, Waterworks, yes. Exile's a really good one. I prefer the Forge Canvas route that 343 has been going for than something like Forge World, per se. Guardian from Halo 3 would be cool. We might get that. We did see concept art of it. Oh, Chiron TL34 remake. I have wanted that for years. And if nothing else, like if there's no official remake, I just hope that this time, with this Forge, we can set up enough teleporter nodes for fans to recreate it if they want. What's your favorite, Elephant or Mammoth? I don't think you can really compare them because they both do, like, the Elephant is technically a mobile command center just like the Mammoth, but the scale of them is so vastly different. But if I had to choose, probably Elephant. Do you want to see the Falcon come back? No. I'm not a fan of the Falcon. But, you know. Where do you stream? I stream here on YouTube. What about Standoff? I hate Standoff. It's better than Blood Gulch, but it has a lot of the same problems, so I very much hate it. Cold Storage over Guardian. Don't know if I necessarily agree, but they're both damn good maps. Come on. Load the thing. Try the Steam News Hub for Infinite. They posted the article there too. Let me see. I'm going to pull this over here until I pull it up, so give me just a sec. Thank you for letting me know, though. Yep, Halo Infinite. Community Hub, here we go. Okay, yeah. Tech preview overview. Shut up, phone. Bear in mind, as a reminder. So that was an interior of Bazaar, so that's good. So is this a render or is this continue? Oh yeah, even on my monitor, this thing's massive. So this is concept art, but really cool concept art. Position. Weapons armor. Oh, this is literally a version of the, at least, it's kind of modeled after the main screen that we just got to preview. Oh, look at that. Uplift Nature Reserve. That's cool. Oh, come on. There you go. UNSC Navy. You got the Infinity over there. Let's see. Oh, go away. Travel, nothing interesting. Nothing interesting. Okay, well, did not mean to do that. Okay, back to Steam, though. What's going on over in Steam? Okay, so optimal times. Tech preview is officially live. Go wild tomorrow. Scheduled play times. 2 to 12 p.m., 7 to 9 p.m. on Friday. Same with Saturday and Sunday. And the tech preview closes, that's Pacific time, by the way. Tech preview closes at 10 a.m. Pacific, noon Central on Monday. Available content is Bot Slayer weapon drills and Waypoint V next. I'm looking forward to that. Halo's support insider site will be available to players all weekend. That's where you report. So let's go over that quickly, because I know people there have been some people confused about it. So just in case, this is the Halo support site, support.halowaypoint.com. Though there's going to be a specific one for, Halo Insider Support. Actually, it's right there. So that'll be open to people participating in the flight, and that's where you'll report. Right now, access denied because the actual flight has not begun. What about Blackout? I'm not a big fan of Blackout. I prefer the original Lockout, though I much prefer the H2A version. It's got all the benefits of the regular version plus some extra shit. Tech preview goals, test yada yada yada. We kind of know about that. Known issues. Players may not. Well, that's good to read over if you are going to be in there. I'm not going to read over stuff all that much. Sorry, I just word farted there. Unlock more content, yada yada. Social region and conditional. If we hit our targeting, this is what some people were talking about. If we hit our target engagement and testing goals, they'll turn on 4v4 Slayer. 60% of the time, while the other 40% involves a 4v3 start, with the final player joining in progress within a minute. Interesting. I'm guessing that's an issue that they're working out for before the final game. Weapon drills. I went over this in my Insight Infinite one. Ooh, look at that. Fret. That's the AI I feel like going with. And feedback, of course. Right, those are just the links where you can give the feedback. Yada yada yada. Okay, so nothing all that big to really dive into. Though I do love this new Spartan render. It looks great. And there it did. It finally loaded here on Waypoint. Ugh. Too bad page 73 didn't load. I'm really curious what the very first article is. Why am I on Uber Nick's page? Interesting. Not a whole lot, but there you can see it. The tech previews, like, these are designated times, but you can theoretically go in at any time, and as long as there's a population, you'll be able to play. And take note of issues you encounter. People on PC, prepare to send a ton of DX Diag reports. I'm sure those are going to be important. Yeah. I cannot wait for tomorrow. Yes, it is over. Sorry, guys. Sword-based God tier, sword-based trash, yo. I hate sword-based. Do you know Uber Nick, the YouTuber? Yes. We've met a few times during PAX. I think I met him. No, I think it's just been during PAX that we've met. And of course, we've talked online. Cool guy. None of the reach maps were good. I'm honestly trying to think if there were any that I like. And I'm honestly, I'm coming up blank. Maybe Boneyard and Spire were fun. Beyond that, I'm trying to think, though. None really stick out in my mind. Well, anyway. I am glad I got to do this. I am very glad. I'm surprised and very glad at how many people showed up for this. Thank you very much. Y'all are awesome. Powerhouse was okay? Yeah, it's okay. Not my favorite. What about Terminal? Terminal is a great map. I want Terminal back, man. That's the Halo 2 map for anyone unaware that has a train running through it. Oh, man. Okay, though. Yeah, I think that's it for now. Stay tuned. I plan to... forgive me for jumping around there for a moment. I do plan to stream some Halo Infinite tomorrow. If people join in or not, that's kind of up in the air. Recap, I don't really think so, because really all of what they've been saying is just going into Infinite, into this preview itself. What I might do after the flight is kind of do a post-mortem, so to speak, which might cover some of this same information. But that's going to be very by the ear. That's the word I'm looking for. So, yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned, Canonites, for Halo Infinite tomorrow and probably over the weekend, except for Saturday. Saturday I have plans for some real world shit. But and then yeah, we'll look at possibly doing a post-mortem on the flight and how Infinite is looking so far, depending on demand. But again, thank you for stopping around. We had over 400 people at one point and still have 346 just listening to me ramble on and forget my thoughts mid-sentence. Y'all are amazing. Thank you very much. This has been Halo Canon, and I'm going to end the stream now and probably go eat some food because I'm starving. I've been preparing for this like all day, and there's a video coming out on Friday I think y'all will enjoy, so keep an eye out for that. Anyway, that's it for now. Ta-ta. Stay awesome, Canonites. I should look at the camera when I do that, not at the